Hey, what's up? It's JJ, the Lonely Bull in Asia here in Bangkok for my live. I tried to use another software, so I'm not sure if I'm even getting out on this or not. So I had to last minute go back to the free version of StreamYard. So um, I'm not sure that anybody's seeing this because it looks like I'm not on here. So let me see if I can find it here. Hold on just a second. If anybody's out there, looks like I got one person on. There we go. Now it looks like we're on. Okay, good. Looks like I got people coming on. So let me know if it's coming through. Um, Send me a comment in chat. I see you. Okay, let me see here. Okay, John, I see you. Good morning. Okay, thanks, John. Appreciate it. Okay, good. We're up. We're good. We're on. We're up and running. Yeah, I tried to use that EV Mux um, software for my stream again, and I'm just not getting it. I don't know what's going on, but so anyway, I had to delete that scheduled stream and then put this one up at the last minute. So, but we're on, so that's the main thing. Hey, good morning, Philip. Loud and clear, loud and very clear. Good, good. I was hoping last time I had some latency issues. It was dragging. I was getting a lot of lag, so I had to shut down and go back up, and it helped. So, all right. So I'm in a good mood. I'm tired because I've been up most of the night, but my Huskers won. So it was an exciting game. I only had about 2 or 3 heart attacks during the game, but they came back from behind in the fourth quarter. Hey, now, Ken. That's okay. I can take some light ribbing. Go Hawkeyes. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, let me see. Black Friday, we might have to put a little wager on the game. Um, you guys played really well today, didn't you? You were up like 30-0 early, was it? Was that the game? Did you play Minnesota? Who did you play today? And what was your outcome of your game? I was thinking you won big. So should be a good game. Iowa's always tough. They always beat us by 3 every damn year. But anyway, so yeah, I'm in a good mood. But I was up all night. I got about 2 hours sleep before the game. The game started at 2:30. So 2 weeks in a row, it's been a 2:30 start. Oh, you beat Wisconsin. That's right. Beat Wisconsin 37-0. So you must have put in the subs in the second half because weren't you up like 30-0 at halftime or something? Hey, good morning, Kiki and Jasmine. Thanks for being a founding member on my membership page. Appreciate that. So if you want to become a member, just go to my channel and you can click on the membership there, and it's only 99 cents a month. So cheerleader was our quarterback. Well, you know what? It could be worse. We could be Penn State this year. Penn State is the new Nebraska. They can't seem to win. So yeah, they're hurting bad, and their quarterback's out for the season. I guess he hurt his leg or something. So yeah, he's out. They got beat by Northwestern. So the week before, UCLA beat them, and then this week Northwestern beat them. Those were the 2 worst teams in the Big Ten. So they're having a rough early season. So, but thanks for coming on this morning. We'll get started here in a little bit. I really don't have much of an agenda. I was going to do a Q&A, but I got sidetracked and didn't get the questions from my comments in my videos and the emails. So I didn't get a list of questions put in. So kind of bad on my part. But if you guys have any questions on the chat, go ahead and put them in there, and I'll answer any questions you want. Just an update on my school. So I just finished my 3rd week of Thai language school, and not this week, but the week before, we had our first test, and I aced it. There was only 2 of us in the whole class. We have about 20 in the class. There was only 2 of us. One other guy and myself got all of the questions right. So I'm off to a pretty good start, but things are getting a little more intense now with the classes every day. So, and then this Tuesday, I go into immigration to get my stamp, my education visa stamp in my passport. So that'll make it official. So I'll do that on Tuesday. So, and I'll give you an update when that happens. Um, and then let me see, we're just 3 weeks away from me moving to my new condo. So this will be maybe this week and next week, probably be the only, let's see, what is the date today? Today's 12th. So the 17th. Yeah, maybe 2 more weeks after this, 2 more Sundays after this, live streaming from this condo. And then I'll be in my new digs down in the Prompong area in Sukhumvit 24. So I'm excited about that. I'm ready to move. I'm ready to get into because I'm always down in Prompong anyway, so I might as well live down there. I'll spend a little more as far as rent, but I can handle that budget. And I'm okay with all that. Um, so what's on everybody's mind today? So I give you a little bit of an update on my education visa and how my schooling's going. That's going pretty well. Actually, I've met a few people in the class that are really cool people, so I'm making friends there, which is kind of nice. I met this one kid. I call him a kid. He's probably in his mid-20s, mid to late 20s. He's from Iran, and he came up to me. He asked me if I could help him with his English grammar because he wants to get an IELTS certificate. It's IEALTS, and I'm not sure what it stands for, but it has to do with the English language teaching. And he needs that because he wants to. He's got a bachelor's degree in engineering, and he wants to apply and go to school here for a master's degree, but he needs that IELTS certificate. He needs a certain score to be able to go to school to get that master's degree because they do it in English. So he needs that English proficiency. So I'm kind of helping him with his grammar. So we just have conversations after class. And when he says something the wrong way, I correct him. But he was really cool. And I met his girlfriend, who's Thai, and she has her own YouTube channel. And she does all this traveling all over Asia and everywhere. And she has a really cool channel. But they actually took me out to dinner the other night. It's been Friday night. Took me to this Iranian restaurant right there on Sukhumvit 11. And so I went there and had dinner with them, and they were kind enough to pay. It was really nice. Good dinner, very good. And after that, I met a friend over at Hillary 11, which is right there on Sukhumvit 11 too, right around the corner from the restaurant, actually. And we watched live bands all night. So it was kind of cool. And the bands were really, really good. So let's see what we got here. Let's see. Spent 2 nights in St. Luke's this week with bronchitis and sinus issues. Oh, humidity is creating big problems. I may require a sinus operation consultation with a consultant on Tuesday. Yeah, I have sinus issues too when it's rainy, especially. And my problem is, see, I take Zyrtec, so I have to. I got the like in the States, you can get the generic Zyrtec, and it's super cheap. You can get it at Walmart, or it used to be. I don't know what it is now. So I really loaded up on that the last time I was back in the U.S. When I was staying in Manila, when I was still living in Manila in the Philippines, I ordered that through Amazon and they sent it to me. So they shipped me like a year's supply. Well, it just ran out this week, and Amazon won't ship Zyrtec or generic Zyrtec to Thailand. So I had to go out to the pharmacy and buy it, and it's a little more expensive. So I got 10 pills to get me through the next couple of weeks. And I think it cost, what was it? I want to say 320 baht. So 10 pills cost me about $12. So it was kind of expensive. I may be wrong on that. I'll have to check, but it was a little more expensive than the generic stuff I can get it through Amazon. So, but I need it. If I don't take a Zyrtec every day or at least every other day, I suffer. I'll get allergy attacks, especially when in this rainy season here. It's really I have mold allergies. The problem is I have mold allergies and dust allergies, so I'm screwed either way if it's wet or if it's dry, but especially when it's wet. So I have mold allergies, and if I go out and it's rainy and I drink a couple more beers than I normally would, that affects me because that's part of the mold family. The beers because it's the hops in that's in that mold family. Also, if I eat a lot of like pizza or stuff with bread, that's part of the mold family too. So I got to cut back on that when it's rainy. Otherwise, my allergies flare up. So hopefully you won't need the operation, but you're in good hands. St. Luke's that's a good hospital. That's the best hospital in the Philippines. So I think you'll be okay there. But yeah, I had bronchitis. I got bronchitis when I was in Da Nang, Vietnam last December. I was out doing a video of their Christmas play or Christmas celebration they had outdoors, and it was raining and cold, and I got sick, and I ended up getting bronchitis. But I went to a pharmacy, and they loaded me up with antibiotics and everything I needed, so I was able to get over it. So, but yeah, so that's nothing to sneeze at, Kiki and Jasmine, so to speak, pun intended. That's your big news. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm thinking this education visa is a cheat code to stay in Thailand for around a year without just depositing around 25,000 in the Thai bank account. I will be following your journey on this. Absolutely, it is. That is. Well, I wanted to learn Thai anyway, and I thought, well, this is the perfect opportunity to learn Thai and be able to stay in the country without having to deposit that money into a Thai bank account, because I'm a little worried about the bank accounts here. Every day you hear these horror stories of people getting their bank accounts locked here in Thailand and even in Vietnam too. So I'm a little worried about that. But after I'm done with my education and my education visa, I will flip that over to a retirement visa. I had problems breathing, got a big fright. I'm glad I have insurance. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've got insurance for the major medical stuff, but the day-to-day stuff, I just pay with cash. It's fairly cheap around here. So, hey, Ricky, good morning from Ekamai. All right. So, are you staying there? Or are you living there? Are you just passing through, or what's your story on the Ekamai location? That's a nice area too. I like the mall there. You got some really good food choices. And do you have to go to physical classroom or is it remote? You have to go to a physical class because they take attendance. And every day at the end of class, the instructor will take a picture of the class. And so he keeps those. And then last week, immigration came and took pictures of each of us. So when they look at the pictures, I guess I'm not sure how or why they did that, but I guess when they look at the pictures of the attendance, they can match with the pictures they took of us. So I guess that's their way of verifying that we're in class. So anyway, yeah. So you have to go to classes, and there's no remote, which is okay with me. I would rather go to class anyway, because if it's remote, I get lazy, and it's like I won't log in today. I'll log in tomorrow. But having to have my butt in a seat in a classroom is a lot better for me personally. So good morning from Portland, Oregon. Yeah, are you a college football fan because your Oregon Ducks got beat by Indiana, by the Hoosiers? Those earthquakes in Davao were absolutely frightening. Makes you wonder about living in a condo. Yeah, back this past March when they had the big earthquake in Myanmar and it affected Bangkok, and you saw all those videos. Everybody in my channel, a lot of people that follow me were saying, why would you want to why would you want to live in Bangkok? Why would you want to live in Thailand with the earthquakes? And I kept saying, there's so many more earthquakes in the Philippines. I mean, it happens so much more. This earthquake that affected Bangkok it was significant, but it was like a 1 in 100 year thing. basically. What's going on in the Philippines, that happens a lot. So you got to be really careful. Yeah, I mean, I've got friends there that are still there, and yeah, they're feeling it every day, and it can be scary. That's for sure. Has JJ ever had a lexicon? What's a lexicon scan? I'm not sure what that is, Mike. Um, Maybe I'm just reading that wrong. Good morning again from Portland, Oregon. Yeah. Oh, and we got another Portland person, huh? So two people from Portland. Okay. So Mike, no, wait. Flynn and Jones are both from Portland, Oregon. That's crazy. You guys have the most viewers on my channel are from Portland, Oregon now. So Ekamai Gateway Mall has a very nice food court. 200 baht can get you a really nice meal. Yeah, absolutely. I live in Tonglo, making my way to PJ O'Brien's for breakfast. Oh, PJ O'Brien's. I love that. I love the breakfast there. Say hi to Kendra for me. She's the cute little waitress. She's got kind of the wide face with the wide eyes. Really, really adorable. Um, but she's from Myanmar, so she doesn't speak any Thai. So because I made that mistake, I was trying to talk to her in Thai, and she didn't speak any Thai. So, but tell her JJ said hi. I don't know if she'll remember who I am, but tell her JJ said hi. Oh, it checks your heart. No, I've never had that done. My heart rate. So I was in. When was this? When I was living in Johnson City, Tennessee. I had I got vertigo really bad, and it scared me. It was the first time I've ever had vertigo, and I it was really kind of scaring me. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what was going on. I thought maybe I was having a heart attack or I don't know. So I I got in my car and I actually drove to the hospital with my vertigo, but I took it nice and slow, and I was able to get to the emergency room. They checked me in, and they hooked me up to all the stuff, right? And they said, oh, I think you just have vertigo, but we're going to make sure we're going to monitor you for the night. And so I'm laying there, and my heart rate is very slow when I'm in a resting state. It's only like 49 resting. So every time I fell asleep, I started to fall asleep, my rate would drop below the level where the alarms start going off, and it'd wake me up, and then the nurse would come in. Are you okay? I go, yeah, I'm okay. um, and they said, they're checking my heart rate, and they go, are you a runner? I go, no, I'm not a runner. So I don't have a lot of mileage on my heart. So if you only have so many beats in your heart in you, I think I'm doing okay. So, but I've never had it checked, so I guess I'm okay there. Two from Portland. Yeah, that's awesome. Robert in Mindanao. Penn State lost 3 in a row. I know, isn't that crazy? No, 2. Yeah, 3 in a row. Yeah, they did lose 3 in a row because they lost to Oregon in overtime. Then they went to UCLA and lost. And then they lost at home to Northwestern. Crazy. The Big Ten I mean, college football's so everything's parity right now. I thought my Nebraska team was going to have a pretty easy schedule this year, but now UCLA, they won again today. They look like giant killers. Their offense is rolling, and we got to play them in what, 3 weeks? We play, let me see, next week we play at Minnesota, then we play Northwestern at home, then we go to UCLA. So Northwestern just beat Penn State, so who knows? And Minnesota's always tough on Nebraska when we play there. And then going to UCLA, I mean, they beat us last year. So, and then we got to come home and play USC, and who's playing really well. Last I saw, they were beating Michigan. So there's no easy games anymore. It's like the NFL. Hey, Dave. Good morning, Dave. How you doing? Ricky, has Trump sent the National Guard to Portland? I don't know. I kind of stay away from all that. Ken says, I'm originally from Indiana, so sorry for the duck we ate today. Where in Indiana you from, Ken? Because I lived in Indiana other than growing up in Nebraska, that's the state I've lived the longest. I moved there at the end of 1999, and I left there in 2016, I think it was. So yeah, so 16 years there. The ICE protesters have been dispersed. My mother gets vertigo. You trying to say I'm old? Does JJ use air purifier for mold allergies, or is it too heavy to lug around? I don't have an air purifier here, but the air cons here have a mode that you can put on that does the dehumidifier, so it helps. I've been watching a lot of Dylan Raiola. Impressive. Yeah, he was okay today. He threw 3 picks, and one of them, I think he was trying to throw it out of bounds, and he just didn't get enough behind it, and the guy intercepted right on the sideline. And the other 2, I don't know what. Well, I think one of them was a freshman wide receiver was supposed to do a curl, and instead of a curl, which is where you run up and then you come back for the ball, instead of a curl, he did an in route. So you run like 15 yards or 10 yards down the field, and then you turn in toward the middle of the field. And he ran the wrong route. He did an in route instead of a curl, and I think Dylan, you can see in the replay, Dylan threw the ball before he made his break, expecting him to come back, and he didn't. But the defender was behind the receiver, and he was right there for the interception. So I don't put that on him. To throw it out of bounds, you got to throw it in the stands. If you're going to throw it out of bounds, don't give anybody a chance. And then the other one, I don't know what he was looking at. He threw it right to the guy. So, but he had 4 TD passes, so he made up for it, I guess. That last drive was incredible. But Emmett Johnson was amazing. Small town called Centerville, Indiana, just outside of Richmond. Yeah, I know where that is. Yeah. Centerville's got they used to have I think it's the one I'm thinking of. Didn't they used to have a Godfather's Pizza there at the mall? If I'm thinking of the right one. I might not be thinking of the right one. Let's see. You have a gym in your new place you're going to? Yeah, I have a really nice gym. I mean, this one's really nice, the one I'm at now. But the one I'm going to, I think, is even nicer. I'll do it once I get moved in. I'll do a video. I'll give you guys a tour. I got the hang on a second. I got to shut off the tracking on my, because it always puts me way too low. It puts my head right in the center of the frame, and I like to fill up the frame a little more. So there, that's better. Sorry about that. Let's see. Yeah. So, yeah, it's got a really nice gym, really nice pool. This has a really nice pool too. I should do a video from the pool. I think I did the first time when I first moved here. I did a video from the pool. I should do it again. It's a really nice pool. The thing with pools here, hardly anybody uses them. So I'm not a swimmer, so it's not like I'm going to go there every morning and do laps. But it's nice to kind of cool down and jump in the pool in the afternoon and just kind of chill out. So JJ, you're a Midwestern through and through. Are Midwesterners really nice, or just an act like Californians? No, we're really nice. And Nebraska, if you've never been to Nebraska, if you ever go there, you're going to find they are the nicest people you'll ever meet. They will give you the shirt off their back. There was an actor, and I think I can't remember who it was, but he said his car broke down. For some reason, they were driving through Nebraska or something. I don't know what this actor was doing in Nebraska, but his car broke down on the interstate or on a highway in Nebraska, and these people stopped and gave him a ride to the nearest town so he can get a tow truck or whatever he needed. And it was Ashton Kutcher, I think that's who it was. But he mentioned this, that he's like, oh, I can't believe how nice Nebraska people are. So yeah, Nebraska people. But I've lived in Tennessee, so that's not really Midwest. I've lived in Kentucky. I've lived in Texas, in Oklahoma. Those I would consider South. But I've lived in Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado. Colorado's not really Midwest; they're more West, Mountain West. But Kansas, Nebraska, Indiana, definitely Midwest. Got any beer in the fridge? No, I don't drink beer at home. I only drink beer when I go out. So I don't put beer. I don't have any alcohol in the house in the condo. That's kind of my rule. I don't want to, I go out. I try to just go out once a week and have a couple beers. This past week, I kind of cheated a little bit. I went out Thursday and had a few, and then went to the Fishbone. I had one beer at Laughing Tiger, which is on Prompong on Sukhumvit 33-1. It's right across from O'Shea's. I had one beer there, and then I went to Fishbone, and I was going to watch the band for a little bit, and I wasn't planning on drinking. So I just had a water, and the band was playing, and then it started pouring rain, and it flooded. The streets flooded literally this high. It went up to the first step of the bar. So my buddies and I, we couldn't leave. So I ended up having two beers while I was waiting for the flood waters to recede, because it rained for about an hour, then it stopped raining, and it took another hour and a half for the waters to recede enough so I could walk back to the BTS. So there are areas in Bangkok that is prone to flooding. So I will mention that. Not everything is, rainbows and unicorns and, but no. So I make it a point only do once a week, but this week I did twice. And then I was going to go see a blues band at the Saxophone Pub down over by Victory Monument on off the BTS last night, and it was raining. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going out in the rain again. And I've already been out twice this week, so I'm just going to chill. So I stayed home. So I was a good boy, but no beer in the fridge. Any recommendations for apartments in BGC? Which one did you stay in? So I stayed in the 3 years I was there. I stayed in two different condos, and one was Fairways Tower, which is on Fifth Avenue, right by what is that road? It's on the south end of BGC. And then the other place I stayed was Fifth Avenue's Tower, which is about 2 blocks farther south on the other side of the street. So I stayed at those two places, and they were pretty nice. They're older towers, but the upkeep's pretty good. They're big condos, big size. So like 50. I think the one I was in was 57 square meters, one of them. But they're in there. It's 50 to 60 square meters. So they're good size. And I was paying 35. I think each of them was 35,000 pesos a month, which is, with the current exchange rate, it's probably pretty good. It's probably like $600 some dollars. So, but yeah, you can find some good, depends where in BGC, because you've got the Uptown, which is the north end. And to me, that's kind of a concrete jungle. It seems more, I don't know, generic. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of green space, but you're right by Uptown Mall up there. Or you can go down by Forbestown Road. Along Forbestown Road, there's a lot of nice condos there. Or if you're on High Street or High Street South, there's some really nice condos in that area. Meridian, the Verve, I think, is there. So there's a few of them. And then if you get up toward Market Mall, which is the Ayala Mall, which is on McKinley, you've got all those condos right along there that are really nice. So you got a lot to choose from. It's a small BGC, small Bonifacio Global City. It's a small little bubble in Taguig, which is one of the cities inside the Metro Manila area, but it's very walkable. But you've got distinct little neighborhoods where, like the ones I mentioned, High Street South, Forbes um, those places over by Market. You're missing out on all the earthquakes here in the Philippines. Come back for a visit. Bring Gio. Maya misses him. I doubt that. Um, yeah, I'm not missing it. That's for sure. I've been through a couple of earthquakes when I was living in BGC, but they weren't major. I mean, you can definitely feel the condo. I was on the 22nd floor and the 29th floor in the two condos I lived in, and you can definitely feel it sway, but it wasn't major. BGC doesn't seem to get affected much by earthquakes. I think they're built a little better there. See all of those African hooker girls around SOE 7? How did they get visas? I don't know. I don't see them around. Well, I don't go to Soy 7 too much, but if I'm going on if I'm on Soy Cowboy, if you're right at the entrance of Soy Cowboy, the one on 23, which is right across from Terminal 21 Mall, they're right outside there. There's probably between 5 and 10, maybe a dozen of the African um, freelancers right there, and they zone in on me, boy. They see me coming from a mile away because I'm so pale, I'm transparent. So, but yeah, they see me coming and they like, oh, there's some white meat for you. But I don't go to Soy 7 that much, so I'm sure they're there too. But African hookers, we call them freelancers here. So, but I think you can get. Um, I think actually it's easier for people from, like, say, Kenya with their passports, easier to travel out of the country than Philippine passports. Philippine passports, it's hard, especially on your first time, especially if you're a Filipina, a girl. It's really hard to get out of the country. So, aha. So you have seen them, sir. Of course, I've seen them. I see freelancer. If you get down past SOE 15 on down to SOE 4, you can't avoid them. If you're just walking on the street, you're going to be met by many freelancers. So yeah, it's unavoidable. Big condo developments going on in Tagaytay. I hope they don't overdo it. Oh yeah, well that's good. They need new condos there, but if it's like Metro Manila, there's so many empty condos. I mean, they build these condos and then they can't sell them. I'm not saying that the rental um, properties aren't getting rented out, but the sales of these new condos, they're not getting sold. Thought you were concentrated around Soy 4 area. Um, I've been to Soy 4. I go there several times. I don't really like it. I like Soy 11 actually. Sukhumvit 11 is kind of you get a mixture of really nice bars and restaurants, but you still get that gritty part of the lower part of Sukhumvit. That's like Soy 7 and Soy 4. You get a little bit of that. So you get a little of both. You get both best of both worlds there. So it's kind of nice. And you got two Hillarys there, so you got plenty of live music. You got Climax, which is part of is owned by Hillary's. It's a club that's down the basement of a hotel there, right there on Soy 11. So there's a lot of things to do on Soy 11. So and that Iranian bar, the Iranian restaurant was pretty good. How many times have you been back to Indiana since going to the Philippines and Thailand? 0 times. I've never gone back to Indiana. I've been back to the U.S. once since I moved here in Southeast Asia back in 2022. I've been back. I was back in 2023 in the fall. It would have been September, October. but I stayed in Nebraska to see my family, my sisters and my cousins. But I've never been back to Indiana since. So I'm not a big Indiana fan. I did like the last place I lived in Carmel, which is just north of Indianapolis, kind of a suburb of Indianapolis. And I lived in, I guess, an apartment. You could call it a condo or townhouse, I guess. Not really a townhouse. It was on the second or third floor. And it was a really nice apartment. And I was right near the Monon. The Monon is this really huge walking trail that's paved, and it goes all the way. I think it goes all the way up to what's that city? Westfield. Goes all the way north of Westfield, all the way down through Indianapolis. So it's super long, but it's fun to walk it. And yeah, so I was really close to there. So I really liked Carmel. That was the last place I lived. Tickets have gone on sale for the Ryder Cup 2027. Quite expensive. So they just had it this year, right? And Europe won. They were way ahead, and I guess the U.S. came back. That was the Ryder Cup, right? Or was that the President's Cup? I think the Ryder Cup. I think the Ryder Cup's every other year. And I think it was in Europe this year. So in 2027, it will be in the U.S., right? Am I right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Ken, I'm from Indiana and never seen a reason to go back. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, there's not much in Indiana. My son lives there, but he's growing and he's doing his own thing. So, so I'll, if when I go back, and I'll probably go back at some point next year, maybe after my schooling is done, I might go back and I'll try to go back and visit him. I need to go sell my car, but I want to go back one more time and use it to drive wherever I need to go. Then when I'm done and ready to leave, I'll sell it and get out from under it. No what? Here we go. Ryder Cup was in New York. Oh, it was in New York this year. Okay. I was thinking it was in Europe. Okay. I didn't see much of it. I saw some of it when I was at the pub. They had it on. So next year is going to be where? Is it going to be in Ireland? That would be cool. I might have to go for that one. Hey, damn cars. One of my hobbies in the Philippines is ham radio. Your condo would be an excellent location to operate a radio. Yeah, high up. You can probably get a lot of coverage. I used to have a CB when I was in high school. I was called Copperhead because my hair was so red back in the day. That was my handle. Europe won the Ryder Cup in New York. Okay. The next one is in Ireland. Oh, awesome. Great. How much are the tickets? Because I don't know if I'll have to start saving now for them, I suppose. Ryder Cup is every 2 years. Yeah. So next year will be the President's Cup, right? So they alternate, I think, right? So, yeah, I only saw just a little bit of the Ryder's Cup, and the day I saw was day 2, I think, and Europe was way up on them, and there was some big thing going on with Rory and one of the caddies for the U.S. I can't remember whose caddy it was. There was some John going back and forth, but it gets pretty intense, which is fun because usually you think of golf as the golf clap and everybody's behaves really well, but there's a couple of times the Ryder's Cup is one of them. Then that tournament they have in I think it's the John Deere Classic. I think it's in Des Moines, Iowa. That gets pretty crazy too at times. So you and Gio need to do a joint episode comparing the cost and quality of life between Bangkok and Manila, BGC and Makati. This is the fairest comparison, not comparing Bangkok with second-tier Philippine cities. Yeah, I mean, I would be more than happy to do that. The only problem is Gio's never lived in Manila. He's only lived in the other cities like. But Davao's pretty good size. Cebu's pretty good size. He lived in both of those. So, but yeah, we can do something like that. Definitely, I'm sure we will at some point. So your son drives your car, or do you keep any insurance on it? No, he's got his own car. I have my car in storage back in Nebraska. So when I fly back, I'll fly into Omaha, and I'll have one of my cousins pick me up. They don't know this yet, but they will when I go. And then I'll go back to my hometown, which is where my car is, and then I'll use my car and I'll take that trip out to Indiana and probably see my son. Try to get up to Chicago area, the Chicagoland area where my other sister lives, and then go back to Nebraska, sell my car, and get the hell out of Dodge and get back to Bangkok where I belong. Mark Mortimer. Hi, any suggestions, best places for live music in Bangkok? My wife and I especially like funk, soul, blues, and jazz. All right, blues and jazz. Number one is Saxophone Pub, which is if you get on Sukhumvit and ride that up north, the Sukhumvit BTS, which is the dark green line, take that all the way up north to the Victory Monument BTS. And you get off there and it's right around the corner. That is a really neat bar. They have fantastic music. If you like funk and soul, I would say probably one of the Hillary bars. Like the place I was at Friday night, they were playing at Hillary 11. The first band was really, really good. And I'll probably I did some videos. I'll probably post some shorts showing their music. But they did they started out really mellow. They were doing a lot of mellow stuff, kind of yacht rock, if you know what that is. Like Christopher Cross Sailing, Toto, Africa, things like that. And then they picked it up, and in their second set, they picked it up a little, and they were doing a lot of neat stuff. Like they did ABBA, Dancing Queen. But they did a lot of other things too. So, but I think that band plays. I want to say they play. I've seen them before, so I'm thinking they play there every Friday night. And then they had another band that played. The second band that played there was really good too. I was across the street at Soho Pizza having a slice of pizza, but I could hear them. So any of the Hillary bars, there's like 5 of them. So you got Hillary 11, and then down on Sukhumvit, and that's on Sukhumvit 11. Hillary 1 and 2 are on Sukhumvit 4. And then there's all other bars there on Sukhumvit 4 that have live music too, but they're more rock. But if you like the funk and the soul and the blues, definitely Saxophone Pub for blues and jazz. So yeah. And then on Thursday night, there's a really good band that plays at Fishbone, which is off the Procanone BTS. And where you go to the W District, it's the street right behind the W District, and the bar's right there. Fishbone. It's a very small bar, barely bigger than my condo. So you got to get there early, and they have a band that starts I think at 7:30 on Thursdays, and they're really good. And they play every Thursday there, and they're super good. And they play a lot of music from like the 70s, and they play a lot of Beatles and 70s music. So they play a lot of 80s music too, but they're really good too. So there's a lot of great venues. There's probably a lot I'm not thinking about right off the top of my head. Brace yourself, 27,000 for a 4-day ticket for 2 in the trophy room. Albeit this is an exclusive location on the course, you can meet the golfers as part of the price. What would be a look it up for me? What the practice round tickets go for? That would be the cheapest ones. Or if you just the normal gallery tickets, what would the cheapest tickets be for like Thursday and Friday? I'd be interested to know what that would be. What is the youngest Thai you actually dated in Bangkok? not play for pay, and how did that go? Okay, so it wasn't a Thai girl; it was a Lao girl. I didn't know she was from Laos until later. This was a few years ago. The first couple of times I'd been to Bangkok, I was down in Pattaya, and I was walking around. I was at this. If you've ever been to Pattaya, there's an outdoor mall, like a Terminal 21 type of mall. And they have this outdoor. It's not an outdoor mall; it's a mall, but they have an outdoor area where they have food court set up, right? So I'm walking through there. I'm thinking, oh, this is kind of a neat area. So I'm just walking around. This is before I even got my YouTube channel. So it was like 2022. And I'm walking around and I see this cute girl and she's getting coconut slushy or smoothie or whatever. She's getting a coconut drink at one of the food stands. And I kind of look, I'm walking by, I kind of look back at her and she looks back at me and she smiles and I smile. So I'm thinking, okay, there's my green light. So I turn around, go back and start talking to her and her English is good. So we're talking. I go, "Do you mind if I walk with you?" She goes, "Yeah, that's fine." So we're walking and she's really little and she looks really young, right? But she's cute as a button. So I'm thinking, oh my God, how old is this girl? So I asked her, I go, how old are you? And she goes, 16. I go, oh no. And she starts laughing and she goes, no, I'm 22. I go, oh, okay. So long story short, that's the a long answer to your short question. That's the youngest was 22 that I dated, but she wasn't from Thailand. Um, Thai girls I've dated previously have been in their 30s, mostly in their 30s, like 32 to 38 years old. So a couple in their 40s. So, but they age really well. So the ones in their late 30s look like they're in their early 20s. So, and obviously that girl, that Lao girl, she looked really young, but she was cute. Um, Add here the 13th. What's that? Add here the 13th. I don't know what that means. I just got on here. Hey, Joe. Have you felt any earthquakes? No, I'm in Bangkok, Thailand, so nothing happening here. All those earthquakes that are going on are happening in the Philippines. They had that big one in Mindanao, 7.9, I think it was, or 7.4, something like that. And then they had a aftershock like the next day, which was six something. So um, really big. Yeah, never mind. I thought you were in the Philippines. Yeah, you're fine. Um, yeah, no problem, Joe. Let me see. 2027 Ryder Cup is on in the Adair Manor Fabulous Golf Resort. Oh, cool. Where is that? Is that in relation in Ireland? Where is that in Ireland? Is that up north or is that Dublin side or where is that? I'll check. Okay, you're going to check prices for me. Awesome, cool. What are the countries JJ go to before he go to Philippines and Thailand? All right, so I first got I've only been traveling worldwide, so to speak, worldwide out of the country, out of the U.S. since 2015. That's when I got my passport. I got it in October of 2015, and my first trip was to the Philippines in at the end of 2015. I've traveled to since I've been traveling. I've traveled to obviously the Philippines because I lived there for 3 years. Thailand because I've lived here for almost a year now. I've traveled to Japan on several occasions. Um, I've been to Singapore, and I've been to where else have I been? Taiwan, but not very long. Just kind of a layover, just checking things out. um, God, where else have I been? I know I've been somewhere else. Where is it? Um, anyway, so those are the main ones. Oh, duh, Vietnam. I've been to Vietnam several times. Um, but yeah, so I love Vietnam. I love Da Nang, Vietnam. Really neat beach city. And of course, I love Bangkok too. Best blues and music venue in Bangkok. Oh, Adhere the 13th. That's the name of the place. Is that what you're saying? Add here the 13th. I've never heard of that, but I've only been I've only been coming here for about 3 years, so there's a lot of stuff I don't know about Bangkok in Thailand, but I'm gonna look it up right now. Add here the 13th. Oh, add here the 13th Blues Bar. I wonder if it's the 13th Blues Bar in Bangkok. Oh, it looks cool from the outside. Let me check. Pranakon. Oh, it's right near the Chao Phraya River. Let's see, where is this? What would be the easiest way to get around to get there? Is there any trains that go that way? I don't see any trains. That would be a grab, probably. Oh, wait. Looks like the blue line. No, that's not it. Anyway, I'll have to check that out. That looks like a cool looking little bar. See if I can get a picture of it for you guys. I'll show you the outside. It looks really neat. See that? 13th. Add here the 13th Blues Bar. I will definitely put that on my to-do list, on my bucket list for places to go. I love a good blues bar. I love good blues. All right. What's the backstory for channel name? It's a little unusual. Okay. So, yeah, I'll give you the story for those of you who haven't heard or don't know it. So, I've always been kind of a black sheep of the family, always kind of a loner. I love, I traveled all over the U.S., lived in 8 states, always got that bug to move about every 2 or 3 years to move to a different place. So I'd always look for another job and get another job and move to another state, and always had that kind of that loner type attitude where I never made real close friends. I had some good friends. Most of my close friends are the ones that I made when I was in college because you're there for extended period of time. So those were my close friends, and I'm still close friends to them. But I never really got to be close to anybody. And then I got married, and that didn't help because my wife at the time, she was very, I don't know. Anyway, I won't get into all that. But so I was kind of a loner, and when I was a kid growing up, my mom had this album by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, and there's a song on there called "The Lonely Bull," and I love that song. And it's actually featured in the Jerry Maguire movie. So if you've seen the Jerry Maguire movie, there's a scene where Cuba Gooding Jr. is practicing, and he's kind of that loner too because of his attitude. And he's at practice, and he's running routes, and he's catching balls, and they're playing that song in the background in that scene. And that kind of stuck with me. It's like, oh, I'm kind of a lonely bull. So, and I like that song. I wish I could get copyrights for it so I can use it as my theme. But yeah, that's how I got it. So that's the name. JJ's not my name. That's the name I used when I was in radio. I went by JJ. Um, so I used JJ and then the Lonely Bull. And then when I started my channel, I was living in the Philippines, but I picked Asia instead of in the Philippines. I picked Asia because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of traveling. So I wanted to keep it more generic. So there you go. There's your answer. JJ the Lonely Bull in Asia. Yeah, and I people were telling me, "Oh, it's too long. Nobody will remember it," but people remember it. So because it's different, I guess. As a personal preference and nothing personal, I find some of the Filipino accents and language very annoying to listen to. Do any other expats you've met feel the same way? Yeah, actually, there's a buddy of mine that lives here now that used to live in the Philippines, and he said the exact same thing. So yeah, I understand that. Um, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't bother me really. I don't know. I hear people say that about Thai language too. They don't like They don't like the nasal sound of the Thai girls when they talk, but that doesn't really bother me too. I think it's kind of endearing. So, but yeah, I get to what you're saying, John. I understand completely. The cheapest I can see are priced at 718 for a practice day on the captain's room. That includes drinks and dinner. So what's 718? What is that? What does that transfer to? What is that exchange rate for US dollars? Is that similar? That's a lot. That's for one day. Saxophone Club, thanks for the suggestion. Hillary 11. So Saxophone Pub is the one on the BTS at the Victory Monument. And you look that up, a Saxophone Pub. Excuse me. And Hillary 11 is on Sukhumvit 11. And we'll add that to the list too. Thursdays at Fishbone. Yep. 7:30 sounds good, and that's ladies' night. And actually, it's ladies' night at Laughing Tiger, and they have live music. They have a girl that plays on Thursday nights, and they have a little stage upstairs, and she plays up there. She just has a guitar. I think it's just her, and she's pretty good too. But she just does kind of mellow, acoustic guitar singing. But there's there's live music venues everywhere. If you just walk down Sukhumvit, if you get to like between Asok and Nana on Sukhumvit, would be if you're heading from Asok BTS to Nana, it'd be on the right side of the street. So I would be on the east side, which is where the odd Sukhumvit numbers are. So Sukhumvit is the odd Soy numbers on one side and the even are on the other. So there's a bar there. It's called the Penalty Stop, and they have live music. I think they have live music there at night. I think maybe just on weekends. And actually, I don't know if they're still there, if they still play there, but they used to have a band there that was all Filipino, and they were pretty good. And they played there every weekend. I don't know if they still do or not. I haven't been to that bar for a while. So interesting backstory. So JJ is your stage name. Yeah, my stage name. So I went by JJ Davis. That was there was I used to listen to WLS radio back in the day when the AM station was huge. It was a huge music top 40 radio station. And there was a guy on at night. His name was Jeff Davis, and my first name is Jeff. So when I decided I wanted to be in radio and I went to school for it, that's what I went by. I went by Jeff Davis. And then later on, I changed it to JJ Davis. I just liked the sound of it. So anyway, but that's my story. Yeah. I don't think JJ went to any other country before he went to Thailand and Philippines. Well, the first country I went to was the Philippines, but I've been to Japan and obviously Thailand and Vietnam and Singapore for extended times. So yeah, I've been to other countries. What country in Southeast Asia is your favorite? Oh, Thailand. That's why I'm here. Thailand. I love Thailand. I love Bangkok. Bangkok is such a great city. There's so many things that ticks all the boxes. I love live music. I love the beer selection. I love the food. I love Thai food, plus all the other kind of food you can get. The food choices here are amazing. Everything's really good. So yeah. $835. Wow. That's dollar is very weak against the euro right now. It's weak against everything, but it's getting better against it's good against the peso, the Philippines peso. Not so great against the baht, although it is getting better. Yeah, although it is getting a little better. It's almost up to 33 last I checked. It seems JJ is answering to messages from his paid subscribers. He seems to be overlooking his free subscribers. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you a paid subscriber? I don't have paid. I have a membership. I'm answering every question on here, so I don't know what you're talking about. I'm answering your questions, Greg Burns. And you're not a paid member, are you? Austin, adhere the 13th Blues Bar. Thank you for the suggestion, amigo. Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate that. When I hear JJ, I think of JJ Walker, Dynamite from the 70s show Good Times. Do you get that a lot? No, I don't get that a lot, but thanks for bringing that up. D Mad. Okay. All right. We're all caught up. Whoop, hang on. We got one more here. Have you spent much time in Pattaya? It sure is fun, but can drain your wallet quickly. I haven't been to Pattaya since I moved here back in October of last year, or yeah, last year, end of October. I haven't been back there, but I've been there a few times. It's okay. I like it. I met that tiger or that Lao girl there, so that was a plus. Um, and yeah, I mean it's okay. I mean if you like that sort of thing, it's fun. You can find rentals really cheap there, so that's one thing that's super cheap. You can get cheap food there, you can get cheap drinks. But yeah, as far as draining your wallet quickly, if you imbibe too much into the adult lifestyle there, yeah, it can really drain you quickly. Yeah, so yeah, you got to be careful with that. JG, do you have a military background? No, I don't. Do you see a lot of expats living in Thailand? Yeah, I do actually. I've got a small group. Actually, I've got two separate circles of friends that are mostly American, but I do have friends that are. Um, I got a friend from Ireland that lives here. Um, I got a Vietnamese friend that lives here. What else? I see most of the Western foreigners that I see around here are Brits or Australians. It seems like um, I don't see a lot of Americans. I think there are more Americans and Canadians that go to the Philippines rather than Thailand. But I'm seeing more and more. I'm hearing about more and more people leaving the Philippines and moving here or moving to Vietnam. I found most Americans I've met in the Philippines to be veterans. Yeah, well, it's so the retirement visa there for veterans in the Philippines is probably the best there is in at least in Southeast Asia because it's only 1,500 peso or $1,500 that you have to deposit in a Philippine bank account. Where if you're not a veteran, it's like ten to $20,000. I think it's even gone up higher than that now. It might be up to 30,000. I like to just chill and spend a few weeks in Jomtien, walk at the beach, and et cetera. Yeah, Jomtien is the beach just south, or the city just south of Pattaya, and it's a nice chill area. I like Hua Hin too. Have you done any day trips or weekend trips to from Bangkok? If so, where? Not since I moved here, but I will. I was actually last weekend. I was going to go to Hua Hin and do a little golf trip there, but the friends I was going to go with they couldn't go, so I canceled and I'll go another time. But yeah, I definitely want to go to Hua Hin. Probably go up to Chiang Mai because I get with my school. I'm in class Tuesday through Friday, so I get out of class at 3:15 on Fridays, and then I don't have to be back in class until Tuesday at 1:30. So I can literally leave on a Friday and not have to come back until Tuesday morning. So I've got basically Friday night, Saturday, Sunday night, Monday night. If I wanted to do a four-day trip or 4-night trip somewhere, I can do that. And go down to, if I want to go to Pattaya, if I wanted to fly up to Chiang Mai, it's super cheap to fly up there. Maybe I want to go to Phuket. I haven't been to Phuket yet. I want to go to Koh Samui. Have not been there yet. So those are some of the places on my bucket list that I'll spend those 3 or 4 day weekends on. Has JJ ever considered going to Macau, China? I have actually. I actually almost took a job in China back in 2016 to teach English because I had a girlfriend, a Filipina girlfriend who was an OFW in Hong Kong. And so I was going to go on weekends, I was going to be in Shenzhen. I think that's how you pronounce it. Shenzhen, which is just north of Hong Kong. Anyway, go down on weekends to visit her, and then of course go take the ferry or whatever over to Macau. But I've not been there, but I wouldn't mind going, checking that out. Yeah, I want to check out Shanghai. That looks like a pretty neat place. Mike, hello, Mike. I'll be coming in November for 4 months, same as last year. Can't wait. Awesome. You'll be in Thailand for 4 months, or are you going to do some slow traveling around Southeast Asia? Have you met Cooper's Thailand Adventures? He is an American YouTuber based in Pattaya. I've seen some of his videos. I've not met him. Didn't he used to be in the Philippines? I was thinking he used to be in the Philippines, but I could be wrong. If it's the guy I'm thinking of. Hey JX, if the living cost in Thailand was the same as the U.S., would you still prefer Thailand? Good question. So let's put it this way, because I can look at it two ways. If the living cost was higher in Thailand, like it is in the U.S. now, I wouldn't live in Thailand. I would live somewhere else that's cheaper. If the cost of living was as cheap in the U.S. as it is in Thailand, I may still be living in the U.S. However, comma, let me put a asterisk on that, because with the current climate of what's going on in the U.S., not to get political or anything, I just don't feel that it's not the same country I grew up in right now. So until that changes, I probably wouldn't live in the U.S. Although in the Midwest, it's not as bad. But yeah. Did you know anyone when you first went to Thailand? Know anyone here in Thailand? No, not really. Not when I first went to Thailand. No, when I first started visiting. Now I met some people. Like my first trip to Bangkok, I met this Aussie, and he's a friend of mine now. I call him Aussie Bob, and he kind of showed me. he showed me all. He showed me around Bangkok. He showed me all the places around Bangkok. Um, so now I pay it forward when somebody comes here and visits me, and they haven't been there. I show them all the places. I take them around all along Soi 4, Nana Plaza, Soi Cowboy, Soi 7, Soi 11. I take them to all those places. So yeah, but he taught me everything I know. But no, I didn't really know anybody. I've met a couple of YouTubers like Eager Expat Joe. I know him. He's a friend now. But I met him before I moved here. But yeah, so but I really didn't know anybody when I first came here. That's what being a lonely bull is. You just kind of get out of your comfort zone and you just go. I like traveling alone. I can go on my own schedule, go to bed when I want, wake up when I want, go when I want. I don't have to, check in with somebody. It's like, oh, do you want to go here? Do you want to go there? I could do it on my own. Tom, I came in late. How is the Thai class going? If you didn't already discuss that, Thai class is going great. Yeah, I did mention it right at the beginning. So for those of you that missed it, I'm taking Thai language lessons. If you don't know, I just finished the third week of class last Friday. Not this past Friday, but the Friday before that, we had a first test, and it was over the first 11 consonants of the alphabet, of the Thai alphabet. So we had to match the picture with the sound and the spelling of the Thai consonant, or the Thai letter, I guess you could call it. It's not really a letter, it's a consonant or a vowel. So we had to match, and I aced it. I got all of them right. There's like 20 of us in a class, and only 2 of us got all of them right. So things are going well, but it's stepping up a little bit. We're at a different level now, so I've got to learn all 44 of those consonants. There's 44 of them, and that's not including the vowels. That's just the consonants. So, but this Tuesday, I go into immigration and get my actual education visa stamp on my passport. So things are going well. I'm excited. We're we're doing well, and so far, so it's been great for those trolls that said I'm too old to learn, and I've got dementia or whatever, and I'll never learn anything. Screw you! Look at me, I'm learning. You know, I want to learn the Thai language. Obviously, I want to be able to assimilate at least a little bit, even if I can't read or write it. At least understand and speak it to an extent where I can have a conversation with a Thai person. And so that's the number one reason I wanted to take that. And then getting the education visa was just just added value to that whole thing. And then just keeping my brain sharp, just doing these things, learning these lessons would help keeps my brain sharp. And so I think that's helped. What has been the most difficult or challenging part of learning the Thai language thus far? It's basically it's right now it's all memorization. And like I said, memorizing the actual letter that corresponds with the sound. Like the first one's really easy. It's gore, so it looks like a picture of a head of a bird. That's go, Gor, go, and that go guy means chicken. Basically, that's a chicken. So when you go to a restaurant, if you look at the menu and if it's spelled out in English and you want tom yum, you want tom yum soup, and you want tom yum soup with chicken in it, it'll say tom yum gai. So the guy means chicken. Another easy one is moo. Moo means pork. So that's really easy. Um, so yeah, so I would say memorizing the characters and understanding how, because they're so different than learning your ABCs. Mostly we'll be in Thailand, making maybe take a quick trip to Bali or Vietnam. You're from Canada. Okay, Mike. Awesome. So you're going to be here in this November. Perfect time to come, by the way. Toward the end of the rainy season, and the weather will be nice. That's the high season, so there'll be a lot of tourists. But yeah, perfect time to come. So yeah, if you're in Bangkok, check out my email. Email me and let me know, and look me up if you want. I'd actually like to see Mongolia. Looks stunning. Really, I've got a friend in the Philippines who's going to be a nanny, and her family that she'll work for is from Mongolia. So she'll start out here in Bangkok and then move to Mongolia back next June, I think. So she's kind of nervous about that, but because it's cold up there, right? But I didn't realize that. I don't know anything about Mongolia other than isn't that where Kublai Khan is from, or isn't he Mongolian? Let me see. Canabine says there are expat guys who went over to the Philippines and Thailand and had their first child in their 60s. I've seen them saying it. They go to retire and have kids. Unbelievable. Yeah. Why would you do that? I got snipped. I got snipped like 19 years ago, right after my son was, not more than 19 years ago, 97, 26 years ago. Yeah, after my son was, like a year or two after my son was born. Yeah, I got snipped, and I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. But why would you? I just don't understand the logic behind that. Whether it's a oops baby, but I mean, thinking with the wrong head. Cooper's used to live in Manila, moved to Pattaya with his Filipina. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, because I think I remember seeing his videos when he lived in the Philippines. You take them to the RLD. The RLD. Take them to the RLD. Chugsy, what are you talking about? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm sure when you tell me, I'll laugh. Correction, Saxophone Pub, also adding Laughing Tiger, penalty stop too. Got to go. Plane taking off for a couple of days, sightseeing in Singapore. Oh, nice. Have fun. I love Singapore. I stayed in Chinatown when I was there. Thank you for Thank you for this community call. Enjoy it. Well, thanks, Mark. Thanks for checking in And safe travels and have fun in Singapore. Go check out Chinatown. It's really amazing. Jack says, is the days of living in Thailand for under 1,200 US over? I heard it's more expensive now. Um, I don't think so. I mean, my hang on a second. Hang on. I'm going to track. I got to walk over here. Hang on just a second. I might have to take my headphones off. It might stretch. All right. Come on, Tracky. Oh, I lost him. There you are. Come here. Come here. My little webcam looks like a little robot because it's got two cameras. So looks like eyes, and then the LED indicators right underneath, and it looks like a little tiny mouth. And it's got a little head on a swivel. It's a gimbal, and then it's got the base, so it looks like a tiny little robot. I'd show you, but you can't. I can't because I'm using it as a camera. All right, now I need to get rid of the tracking and then bring this back down. Okay, so I got this is my budget. So I'll tell you what I'm spending. So my rent will be rent and utilities, which is electric, Wi-Fi. I got free Wi-Fi here, but I'll have to pay for Wi-Fi when I move. So this will be my new budget. So electric, rent, water, and Wi-Fi comes to 800 US a month. And then I've got T-Mobile, the international plan. I'm paying $55 a month for that. My storage with my storage unit, I've got some personal stuff back in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where I moved from. I got a small storage unit, and then my car, that comes to $93 a month. Those are my only two US expenses. When I travel, I use my credit card to pay for my my airfare or transportation, hotels, and that sort of thing, any expenses. So anytime I travel, I just use my credit cards and then I pay that off. So that comes to about, I'd say about almost 400 a month. I budget that 400 a month for traveling. Then I've got what I call my YouTube expenses. So YouTube Prime or YouTube Premium, I guess it is. YouTube Premium is $15 a month. Canva, which is what I use to do my thumbnails, that's $15 a month. I have Amazon Prime, that's $16 a month. I have my editing software is CapCut, and that's $10 a month. So all that comes to about $1,400 a month, and then I take out 10,000 baht in cash to pay for anything like pay for my Rabbit card, which is my BTS card that I use to ride the trains. I put in being down here, I use it a lot. It's probably about 2,000 baht, 2,000 to 3,000 baht a month I spend on that to travel. That will go down drastically once I move because I'll only be one stop. I'll only be one stop to the MTR or MRT, and then 2 stops to my schools. So instead of doing 15 stops total, it's only 3. So I'll cut that transportation cost way down. So what we're looking at here is the 10,000 baht in cash pays for that, pays for if I go out and have one beer or go out and have some street food, I pay cash for that. That's the incidentals. If I need to get whatever, go to 7-Eleven and grab something like that. And then if I if I go out on if I go out on an evening where I spend more than a few hundred baht, then I'll use my cash card. I'll use my bank card to pay for that. So that probably adds another. So the 10,000 baht cash gets me through the month, and that's about $300. And then um, if I go out once a week, 4 times a month, that comes out. That's about a $30 a night expense on average. Sometimes a little higher if I eat at a nicer place. So we're talking, maybe $120 there. So we're talking $450 on top of that. So we're talking about maybe $1,800 if I add the travel expenses. Now, the months I don't travel, you can take that 400 off. So, and I would say anywhere between $1,500 and $1,900 is what my expenses are per month living here in Bangkok. So, it's going to be a little more than where I was in Manila because my rent's going to be a little higher. My rent in Manila was only about $650 a month, just because of the exchange rate. So yeah, it's still doable. But yeah, you're right. Probably not 1,200. 1,200 would be a little low. I mean, you could do it. I mean, if I stayed here where I'm at now, and if I didn't have to travel so much to get to, Prom Pong to see my friends or to the school where I go to Thai language, um, those expenses wouldn't be there. And my rent here is only about 370 a month. So with the utilities and the free Wi-Fi, it's under 400. So you can cut 400 off of that. So that's pretty close to um, 1,200, I guess, if I don't travel. And you can eat cheap. If you eat cheap all the time, you don't go out to fancy Western restaurants, you're going to save a lot more money there. So I guess you can live on 1,200. I just choose not to because I just don't think I would feel comfortable. I don't think it would be a good lifestyle for me, but that's my personal choice. So, but yeah, whatever trips your trigger. I mean, age should never be a barrier to education. Well done on your new endeavor. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I agree. I think that you're never too old to learn. There was a guy in school when I was going to college. Um, there was this old guy. His name was Nick. He was Greek, so his name was Nick Papadopoulos or something like that. I don't remember now, but he was like 80 some years old and spry as a kid. I mean, but he had, I think he had like 7 or 8 degrees because every time he'd get a new degree, he'd re-enroll in school and get another one. He just loved going to school. So I don't know if I'll be that guy, but it was pretty cool. But yeah, he was really old. He never stopped learning. Sri Lanka has stunning beauty. That's worth going to visit. Sri Lanka. Yeah, I might have to put that on my bucket list too. I can't leave. I can't really leave the country until my classes are done. So we're talking 14 months basically. I can, but if you leave the country, you have to pay an exit. I don't remember what it's called, but you have to pay to exit so you can keep your education visa. If you don't pay that, if you don't register that, then you lose your visa when you come back and you might not be able to get a new one. So I'm just going to, in this year that I'm going to go to school, I'm just going to travel around Thailand because I can do that, do those long weekend trips. I've suggested a coffee event at Central World to Geo, and he's noted it. Runs till 14th October. I mentioned you to him as well. Samples, beans, machine, cakes, cookies, peripherals. All right. So you said there is a coffee event going on at Central World up until the 14th. That's Tuesday. I'm going to be, so I've got to go way north on Tuesday to get my education visa stamp. So I can hit Central World on the way back that afternoon, probably, if I don't go to class. And who knows how long I'll be sitting in immigration until I get through the line. So, yeah, that might be a thing to check out. That's cool. I definitely once I move, I want to get a coffee machine. Gio got a French press, which I used to have a French press when I was in the Philippines, and I really liked it. I used that sucker until it broke. It was a glass base, and I actually the base broke off of it, so I had to toss it. But yeah, I might check that out. I'm a huge coffee fan. So thanks, Joe. Appreciate the heads up. It's sandwiched between China and Russia. You're talking about Mongolia, right? Yeah. Yeah. Where's Geo? He's on the go. Learning how to use a coffee press. Okay, neat. Yeah, the French press is pretty cool. I read something about a rabies outbreak and zones for animal control. I'm planning on walking in those 2 parks you filmed at. Do you see soy dogs in those parks? Any update on the rabies scare? I haven't heard anything about a rabies scare. I see some dogs around here in my area because I'm on the south end of Bangkok and Samut Prakan. So I'm basically, if it's not the province, it's close to it. I'm one of the few, maybe the only foreigner in this area. So I see some dogs, but my condo's right outside the MRT, or the MRT station's right outside my condo. So I don't do a lot of walking here unless I go across the street to 7-Eleven or go down the street to a Big C to get some groceries. But no, I really don't see them at the parks. Especially like Benjikiti or Benjisiri Park. I don't see any dogs there. Not the feral dogs. I don't see any strays. Maybe at Chatuchak Park, because that's a big park. Lumpini, I really don't see any stray dogs in Lumpini. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Hey, JJ, I heard you say you had the international plan with T-Mobile for 55. Is that 55 on top of your regular plan with them, or is your actual out the door price 55 total? It's 55 total. It's actually 60, but if you do the auto pay, they cut $5 off. Which reminds me, I need to contact them because I got charged $60 this last time, so I don't know why they're charging me 60 again. But yeah, that's total. That's the whole cost. Now, the thing I had to make sure my phone was unlocked when I came here, so I could put other SIM cards in, like my Thai SIM card or whatever, the Philippine SIM card. So you have to make sure you got an unlocked phone. So if you got one of those phones where you're making payments on it, you're not going to be able to unlock it. So those phones you're not going to be able to use. You might be able to get an eSIM with that, but yeah, just make sure your phone's unlocked. So yeah, but yeah, $55 a month. Do you use an eSIM? No, I don't use an eSIM. I've got my old SIM. This phone is old. This is my US phone. It's got my T-Mobile international, but the data is great here. I never have any problems with the data here, so I just use it day to day. It's an old one. It's a Galaxy S9 Plus. So they've got the Galaxy 25s out now, right? S25s. So I kind of give you an idea how old this is, but it still works fine. The problem is my SIM card slot tray. It's stuck. I used a pin to try to get it to open, and it won't open. It got something that got in there, got gummed it up, and now it's just locked. So when my phone finally crashes for good, I'll probably have to bust it open to get my SIM card out so I can put my US SIM card in another phone. But yeah, it's been work. I don't use it for my videos anymore. I got a different phone for that now. What about health insurance? So I've got travel insurance that has the catastrophic, the major medical. Um, I don't any of the minor stuff. I just pay out of pocket, and it's pretty inexpensive. So even when I broke my two fingers here, when I was back in the Philippines, that only cost a couple $100 total to do the whole procedures. So yeah, the minor stuff out of pocket's not very expensive. Henry Ford once said, anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. There we go. There we go. That's me. Alpha Phil said, forever young. That's what I want to be, forever young. Do you really want to live forever? Forever young. There you go. Eating street food on a regular basis is being penny wise and pound foolish. You may save money today, but you will pay for it in the end by the long term damage it will do to your health. I don't know. You can eat healthy food here. I mean, you can go to a restaurant and have food just that's not healthy. I mean, you just go to eat in the U.S., eat anywhere in the U.S., and the chemicals they put in the food there, that'll kill you eventually. My average is 4,000 per month, sometimes less. Pulled back on the eating out and late nights too. Wow, the 4,000, you're living like a king, babe. Let me see. Have you spent any time on the islands? Koh Samui, Koh Tao, Koh Chang. Have been to many, love them all. I have not, but I want to. I want to go to Koh Samui. I definitely want to go check out Phuket, maybe Krabi or PP. Um, the other ones you mentioned, I don't know anything about them, Koh Tao or Koh Chang. But yeah, definitely I want to check them out on one of these long weekends, probably after the first of the year. Probably when the smoky season hits and that all that burning that they have up north comes down and makes the air quality kind of bad in Bangkok, that might be, January, February might be when I do my traveling, go down south. Thanks for the dog info, JJ. I thought I would ask since I'm doing some vaccines, just did first round of Hep A and B, skipping the rabies vax. Yeah, I wouldn't bother with the rabies vax. Hep A and B is probably good. Update your tetanus if you need it. If you need an update on that, I would get an update on that. Other than that, I mean, don't worry about yellow fever. Don't worry about malaria or anything like that. Here in Bangkok, I don't even get bit by mosquitoes here, so I wouldn't worry too much. Mike Dizo, Big Cow Chang or Baby Cow Chang. Oh, Big Cow Chang or Baby Cow Chang. Oh, is it like two islands, one bigger than the other? Jamie Dimon is a big believer in lifelong education. Good for Jamie. He's also a billionaire. JG, do you ever fear all these YouTubers saying how amazing Thailand is and raving about the $500 condo will have adverse effect on prices? Yes and no. I think that's why the prices are going up in the Philippines, or were going up. I think because of all these YouTubers saying how great the Philippines is. And don't get me wrong, the Philippines is great. I love the Philippines, but there's a lot to be desired. There's a lot of things that can frustrate you with the Philippines that I don't get here in Thailand. Now, Thailand's not a perfect country. There are no perfect countries. It has its downside, but I think the positives far outweigh the negatives. And that's why I love about Bangkok and love about Thailand. So, yeah, I'm seeing more and more YouTubers talking about leaving the Philippines and coming to Thailand. And I like to think that maybe I was one of the first to do that, and now they're all following me because I've been here almost a year now, and now all of a sudden it's like, maybe I'll go to the Philippines or maybe I'll go to Vietnam. It's like, wow, okay. Saw this happen in Dumaguete when YouTubers like Geo ruined it. Now infested with Westerners. Well, I don't. I don't know if they ruined it. Um, I don't know if Dumageddon was. I've never liked Dumageddon, to be honest. I don't. I could never understand what people saw in Dumageddon. Um, I think what happened was it was like TripAdvisor or some magazine said had an article one time that Dumageddon was the best place for retirees in Southeast Asia, and I think that's what triggered the start of things. And then you got the YouTubers coming after that. You got the old guys that were at Dumageddon like Rike and Bud Brown and Paul Old Dog. Those three guys started everything, and then it just compounded and compounded. And before you know it, there's so many. I mean, it seemed like every Westerner that went to Dumageddon started up a YouTube channel because they saw how those three guys were doing so well. And then it started being drama, and it started to be Dramageddon. And but to me, I've been there several times, and I saw nothing in Dumageddon that I liked. There was nothing about it that would make me want to live there. That includes health insurance too, which is $500 per month. My peace of mind is worth every cent. Absolutely, yeah. You gotta have your peace of mind. Have a nice savings to help with those emergency costs. Do you think there's any truth in the local Thai women just wanting foreigners for money, or do you think some really want real relationships? I think there are some that just are in it for the money. Same with the girls in the Philippines. Same way, maybe even more so in the Philippines. I think more Thai girls are looking for a real relationship. I'll tell you the big red flag to look at if you're on a dating site is if you're looking at a girl's profile and she says, "I'm looking for a generous man," or "I'm looking for a man who's not stingy." There's your red flag. There's the ones that you want to be taken care of. There's the ones that are in it for the money. But there are, for every one of those, there's probably 10 Thai women that are looking for real relationships. So Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Koh Samui, Phuket are all nice to visit. But I am always drawn back to Bangkok. Yeah, you're right. Every time I leave Bangkok, I miss it. Every time. I just miss it. I just love the energy that it has and the things there are here to do. But I love Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is a neat city. I think that's the second largest city in Thailand. Thailand's not a big country population wise. But yeah, Chiang Mai's neat. It's almost like a college town. I always stay in the Timon. I think it's Timon area. I think it's called Timon. Anyway, I always stay there, and it's kind of like got a lot of neat coffee shops and restaurants and bars in that area, and kind of like a almost like a college town. I'm not a big fan of Filipino food, far too salty. Yeah, I agree. Salty and greasy. Yeah, and sweet too. I mean, they add it's like if it's not all sugar, then it's all salt. Mike's Philippine retirement is getting way over his head with the drama. He should never have reacted to the trolls. I don't really watch his channel. I met him once, him and Janet, and he was kind of standoffish to me, to be honest. Um, I think he was taken aback because I mentioned in one of my videos. This is when I first started YouTube, and I mentioned one of my videos some of the negative things about Dumageddon. Or no, I know what it was. I did a video on Dramageddon, on the drama in Dumageddon, and I didn't mention any YouTubers' names. But when I met him at I think it was Tom and Tom's coffee shop there in Dumageddon, I met him and Janet. And he brought that up. He brought that video up, and I could tell he didn't like the video I did, even though I didn't mention names. And he was a little. To me, it felt, and and maybe he just was having a bad day. I don't know. Everybody has bad days. But to me, I felt that he was a little condescending to me. Like, "Oh, who are you? You're just this little channel," because I only had like, a couple thousand subscribers at that time. And he's got, I mean, he's still way ahead of me. I'm still a small channel in my eyes. But it just felt like he was a little condescending. Whereas Gio was super nice when I first met him. And Mark Thornton, Every Man Has a Story, who's passed, he was super nice to me. So those two guys were nice. And I met Paul Old Dog briefly. I just said hi to him. I didn't introduce, I didn't tell him who I was. I had a channel or anything. I just said, "Hey, I know you from your channel. I just want to say hi. I don't want to interrupt your coffee with your friends, so I'll just leave you alone." And I just said hi, and he seemed nice. So, but yeah. Yeah, but I don't know anything about Mike, what he's doing with his channel now. I don't know what's going on with his channel, but everybody's got trolls. And my mentor, when I was working in education, he told me, when people start complaining about the work you do, that means you're being successful. And so I've got my share of trolls, and I try to ignore them, and I'm not afraid to block them either. I'll block them if they I can do some light ribbing and things like that, but if they really start getting personal, or if they attack other subscribers of mine, then I'll block them. So I don't have a problem with that. But I don't talk about it on my videos. That just fuels their fire. That just means that, oh, I got under his skin, so well, I'll just up my game more, and when you ignore it, it kind of goes away. Mike's Philippine. Okay, I already talked about that. So, do you like BKK because you're from a small town, USA? Yeah, I've become a city guy. I part of my youth, I lived on a farm, and I do love farm. I do love the farm, or I did. But I've become a city guy in my older life. So, yeah, I really love. I love the city. I love the energy that Bangkok has. It's amazing. It's funny because it's like it's the city that never sleeps, but I do. I I'm usually home. If I go out on at a night, I'm home before midnight every time. One reason is I want to make sure I catch the trains, because the trains stop running at midnight. So even if you get on a train, say if you live on Sukhumvit somewhere, like next month I'll be in Prompong. This time next month I'll be in the Prompong area. And if I go down to, let's say I go to a saxophone pub down at Victory Monument and I watch a band, as long as I get on a train before midnight, I can take that Sukhumvit train all the way to the end, till it ends, until it's the last stop. But living here, I've got to take the train to the Samrong BTS, get off that, walk to the MRT station, which is connected, and get on the MRT yellow line and take that one stop to Tippawan, which is my stop, which is right outside my condo. But say I get on the train on the BTS at 11:45. It's like, cool, So 15 minutes I get to, or 20 minutes I get to Samrong. I get off. Well, it's 12:05. The MRT is closed, so I have to walk home or get a grab. So I always try to make sure that I'm on that MRT, that last stop of mine, before midnight, so I don't have to walk or get a grab. So, so it's a city that never sleeps, but I sleep. I'm home by midnight. Open-minded, that means she wants to spend your money. I still don't know what open-minded means, because Philippines, open-minded means that they're sexually active. That's what they mean when they say open-minded in the Philippines. I don't know what open-minded means here. I haven't figured that out yet. He definitely comes across as very defensive. Yeah, he is. He's very thin-skinned. Yeah, I will say that. And he's been doing it. Well, he hasn't done it that long. I don't think he's maybe 3 or 4 years, because I think he started. I want to say now I don't know this for a fact, but I want to say that he got he moved to the Philippines maybe 3 or 4 years, probably 4 years ago now, maybe five now, and I think he married Janet, or I don't know if they're married. I think they're married, but I think he married Janet pretty much right after he moved there. I could be way off on that, but I think somebody told me that. So if he's giving dating advice, I don't know if I would listen to his dating advice because he's he doesn't date. And things have changed. I when I was dating, when I moved there 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, when I was living in the Philippines, it was super easy to date. And now it's changed. It's not quite the way it was. And you see a lot more, for lack of a better term, gold diggers or girls that are in it for the money than you did before. When I first started dating there. So yeah, yeah, he is very thin skinned. Yeah. Me trying to troll JJ. You are looking younger today than last year in BGC. That's not trolling. That's a positive. Um, yeah. Well, I feel younger. I'm finally losing some weight because I was up to like 216 when I moved back here. When I came back here from Manila back in May of this year, and I just felt miserable. And part of the problem was when I was in Vietnam and Da Nang, I'd go out drinking with friends every night because those guys, they're Aussies, they're Australians and Brits, and those guys drink every night. So I was out there every night because my normal friends weren't there anymore, the ones that don't drink every night. So I was there with those buddies, and I got that beer gut. So when I got back here, it's like I stopped. It's like once a week. That's it. Only a couple pints, and that's it. So I've lost. I finally got under 200 pounds this past week, and then my scale broke. So it's either the battery or something's wrong with it. So I don't know what I weigh now, but I'm right at that 200 mark. So I've lost about 16 pounds since I moved back. So trying to get rid of the gut. So but yeah, if you want to troll, you'd say, "Oh, you don't look any older than 70." That would be trolling. Has sick grandpa come after you? I guess he's done a couple of videos about me, but he commented a couple of times on a couple of my videos, did some comments. I just ignored him. So yeah, Fred Flintstone's just kind of, I don't know what he's doing now. I don't know. Has he done anything lately? Because it hasn't come up on my recommendations lately. So I don't know. What American restaurants are in Thailand? Okay. You mean like the franchise restaurants? You got like the Pizza Huts, and you got the fast food like Burger King and McDonald's, KFC, Taco Bell. You got those kind of things. If you're looking for like those Western style franchise restaurants, you really got to go to the Philippines in BGC and Makati. Then you get the what is it? The Chili's and the what is it? The Italianis, um, Olive Garden, Texas Roadhouse, Denny's. You get all those in Metro Manila, but not so much here. There are a lot of American restaurants here, but they're not the franchise type. They're more of the local people or the Americans that moved here and started their own restaurants. So there's a really nice one down. I haven't been there for a while, so I think it's under new ownership. But it used to be. It's called the Tavern. It's on Soy 4, Sukhumvit 4. If you go past most of the bars, it's on the left side as you're walking, and it's just this little bar, a little tavern. You will go in, and it's got the bar in the middle with the seating around it, and then it's got a couple of booths around the outside. But they have American food, and it used to be. I don't know if it's still like this, but they used to have this guy that was the cook there, and he was an old Navy cook, Navy chef, and he made the best steaks, American beef, best steaks, best burgers. It was really good. You pay a little more, but it was super good. But that's what I mean by it's just a one owner thing. It's not a franchise, but you can find really good Western food here. I mean, you go to O'Shea's Irish Pub or PJ O'Brien's Irish Pub, which is owned by the same people. You can find some good Western food like pizza and burgers, but they also got the Irish stuff or the British stuff too. So you can get like a bangers and mash, um, fish and chips. So a lot of they got a really good at O'Shea's. They got a really good Philly cheesesteak sandwich. I think it's really good. So you can check that out. But yeah, you can find any Western food here. They got Prime Burger, which is a franchise. I don't know if that's a Western franchise or not, but they got a lot of those here. They got Buddy Burgers all over, which is a local, but they got like 5 locations, which is pretty good burgers. So if you're looking for a good burger, you can find it here. Good steaks too. You should give a shout out to your barber, Sharp. Yeah. So okay. So I need to figure out. I can't remember the name of it. So it might have been you, Austin, that mentioned it in one of my comments. Somebody mentioned on my comments like, "Hey, Sharp haircut. You should mention where it is at." It's on Sukhumvit 24. It's only like a couple of blocks from my new condo when I moved there. So when I get moved there, the next time I get a haircut, I'll let you know exactly where it's at. It was like 300, I think 300 baht, maybe 350, which is a little higher than what I pay here. I only pay like 150 here, but I'm in Samut Prakan. I'm in province basically. So it's super cheap here. So 300, 350 is like $9, $10, which is still a lot less than you pay in the West. But I told her 3s on the side. So she did the 3s. And then I got my tracking back on. Hang on. So she did the 3s on the side. But then what she did was she went with a really short one and did the back and the sides really short. So I got the high and tight. So it looked like a military cut. Hang on a second. There we go. Yeah, it looked like I had a military cut, but it's starting to grow back a little bit, so it's not so bad. But yeah, she did a great. I think she did a great job. She showed me in the mirror my back. I go, "Oh, you took it all off." She goes, "Oh, it'll grow back in 3 days." It's like, okay, whatever. But she did a great job, and I was so tired that day. I can't remember. I think I'd done a lot of walking and did some videos, and I was. Oh, you know what? It might have been last week when I wasn't feeling well and I didn't get any sleep the night before because I watched the Nebraska game, and it was that Monday because I had Monday off, and I was really tired, and it was really hot, and I'd been walking around doing videos, and I stopped in, and she cut my hair, and I kept falling asleep. She started laughing at me because I was falling asleep while she was cutting my hair, but it was enjoyable. It was good. She did a good job. Good day, JJ in chat. Hey, Daniel, nice for you to join us. Thanks for coming on. I grew up in an agricultural community in Ireland. Like you, I fell in love with cities, but still love the countryside. Yeah, I love visiting the countryside. I'm not one of those that do the hiking, do the country trips, in the waterfalls and all that. I'm not big into that. So if that's something that you want to see on my videos, you're probably not going to see a lot of that. I'm more of the, what's it like to live here? What's it like to get here? What do you need to bring? What's your visas? Those type of things, and just enjoying Bangkok. And so that's kind of me. But yeah, that's cool. What's all this then? What's all this then? What's all what then? Hey, Joe. Broadly, 2 types of Thai women. One grateful and happy to wipe your butt and give you a proper cremation, and ones who are not. Oh, okay. Well, that kind of, in a, in a sense, that sums it up. Mike says, Mark Thornton channel really helped me get through the pandemic. He told some really good stories and did good interviews. Watched them all. Sad he passed. Yeah, I thought he was a nice guy. He got, he got in that trouble with that fight, and that kind of soured his image, which was too bad. But yeah, I didn't have any issues with him. He was really polite with me when I met him. Didn't you meet Mark Thornton once and maybe did an yeah, he interviewed me. I met him, and he interviewed me at Ground Zero, the coffee shop that he got banned from when all that drama started. But yeah, he was nothing but nice to me, so I had nothing against him. So R.I.P. Have you tried Thai seafood yet? Yeah, yeah, I love all kinds of Thai food, seafood and such. I actually had some Iranian food Friday. If you missed the early part of the stream, um, one of the guys in my class, he's Iranian, and he's trying to get his IELTS certificate so he can get a master's degree here in Thailand. And he needs help with his grammar. So he speaks some English. He speaks English okay, but sometimes his grammar's off. So he asked if I would help him. I go, yeah, sure. So after class, we sit at the lounge in the building, the first floor of the building, and we sit there and just have conversations. And when he says something wrong, I'll correct him, and he writes it in his notebook. And so, but he's got a Thai girlfriend, so they invited me out to dinner Friday night, and went to this Iranian restaurant. What was the name of it? Hold on, I'll tell you the name of it. It's right there on Sukhumvit 11, right around the corner from Hillary 11, which is. I met a friend there after dinner that night, and we watched some live bands, played some pool upstairs, and watched some really good live bands. But yeah, the food was awesome. Let me see where this is at. Hold on just a second. So 11. Shemroon Iranian, spelled Shemroon, Iranian. They've got Arabic, Indian, and Turkish food there, and it was really good. And he paid for it, so that was really nice of him. So yeah, so that was kind of neat. Oh, hair looks better like that. Oh, thank you, appreciate that. How do you feel secure knowing it's very hard to get citizenship? Are you fine with having to do border runs the rest of your life? Well, I don't have to do a border run. I'm on an education visa, so that'll be for the next 12 months or so, and then I'll do a retirement visa when I'm done with that. I'm not interested in getting citizenship. Retirement visa will be I don't have to leave. I just have to renew it every year. So this time next year, probably the end of next year, I'll get my retirement visa. So yeah. Mark was a big man, 6'6", I think. Yeah, he was a pretty good sized dude. Yeah. Did you see that video where he got in that fight with that other YouTuber? He sucker punched the dude, knocked him back into the cars. But yeah. Okay, let's see. We're coming up on 2 hours. Still got 27 on. Any other questions you guys have for me? I'd love to answer. If you got anything, just let me know. Covered a lot today. Talked about my education, my Thai language school. What else we talk about? Talked about places to go in Bangkok to watch live music. Learned some new places that I'll definitely check out. Talked a little bit about my budget. When I move next month to my new place, I'll do a video of the new place. I'll show you all around and let you see that. But let's see if there's anything else. What else you got, guys? Tell me, chat, what else you got for me? We're right at 2 hours. I'll probably call it unless we get more questions. Can of Beans says, even that Valencia area above Dumaguete isn't that nice, nor the beach communities south of like Darwin and Bakong. That's where I think Mark Thornton lived in Bakong. I bet they dumped sewage. That was part of the problem. So yeah, there's the beach area. There really isn't a beach in Dumaguete. There's that boardwalk, but the water's dirty. And then even if you go across, if you take the ferry over to Sikior, they've got nice beaches there. But sometimes if you're on the beaches that face Negros, which is where Dumaguete is, you're going to get a lot of trash washing up on the shore, and it just looks nasty. So, yeah, it's sad that they don't take any pride in that. Now I got a friend that he's big into scuba diving, and he swears by Darwin. He loves it. He loves the diving there. So I guess if you get out far enough, it's not the beaches that are great; it's the diving is good. Because I stayed at a resort. Was it Liquid Dive? I stayed at Liquid Dive a couple of times, and really nice resort that right there in the Darwin area. But there's not much for a beach. It's very rocky. But it's quiet, and you got that, and they got a nice little outdoor bar / restaurant at the resort. It was kind of nice. So, and the accommodations were nice and not expensive. So, but like you said, Valencia is not that great. I got a buddy that lives in Valencia now, and he's like he's got a bad knees or bad ankles or something, so it's hard for him to get around. And there's really no good transportation options unless you own a bike or own a car, because in Dumaguete they only have the little trikes with the sidecars. That's the only mode of transportation they have other than owning your own bike or car. They don't have Grab. They don't have taxis. None of that. So yeah, it's just not ideal for me at least. But some people love it, I guess. At least they say they do. Maybe they're just lying to themselves. Good to hear you didn't have prejudice against the Iranian guy with all the anti-Iranian propaganda in the U.S. So here's the deal. I talked to him about this, and he's a younger kid. He's like 28, maybe something like that. But he said when the U.S. bombed Iran and those facilities, those military facilities, and they killed some of the government officials, the politicians. He said that the Iranian people were cheering that. They were cheering on the U.S. He says the younger people, they don't like the government. They like the U.S. So they don't have anything against the U.S. It's that old regime, the old extreme Islamic regime, that they're the ones that hate the U.S. and hate Israel and hate the Western world. But it's the younger Iranians, they love the U.S. and they have nothing against us, and they cheer. He said we cheered when the U.S. bombed those facilities and killed those politicians. We were cheering that. So yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I had no idea. Pun intended. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for joining. So you're liking Thailand more than the Philippines? Yes, I am. Now, I got nothing against the Philippines. I loved my time there, my 3 years there. I had a lot of great times there. I've got friends that still live there. I dated a lot of beautiful Filipina, had some great experiences. But nothing compares to Thailand, and especially Bangkok. There's no comparison for me, at least. So, but it's to each his own. It may not be for everybody. Bangkok definitely isn't for everybody. It can get overwhelming at times, but I just like it. Philippines is good to visit. A lot of stunning beauty, exotic Southeast Asian sites. Living, no way. Yeah, I tend to agree. Now, I was in that bubble of BGC, so, but I got out. I did a lot of traveling. I've been to Negros Island several times. Been to Leyte. Been to Siquijor. been to Iloilo, been to Camaros Island, been all over. Um, but getting out of that bubble, it's just getting around transportation wise is really difficult to get around the Philippines because there's so many little islands. It's just hard to get around. The infrastructure is just not there, not like it is here. There are also issues with rebels in that area, Negros Oriental. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. I was never interested in the remote provinces in the Philippines. Yeah, I visited them, but there's no way I would live in the provinces. No way. Not. I mean, I like BGC because it's Western, it's convenient, it's walkable, but it got too small. It got too much of a bubble and too small. And to get outside of that little bubble to go anywhere else in the Philippines wasn't real easy. The women don't compare. Philippine women are beautiful, but Thai women are at least as beautiful, maybe more beautiful. Philippines has a 3-year visa. Well, they've got the tourist visa where you can stay up to 3 years without having to leave. But when I was there, I would leave because if you stay more than 6 months, you have to do an exit clearance visa or exit clearance, and that there's a cost involved in that. So I would always leave the country and travel. I'd travel to Thailand or Vietnam or Singapore or wherever before those 6 months come up. And then when you come back to the Philippines, that 3-year process starts over again. So as far as tourist visas in Southeast Asia, the Philippines probably has the best one there is. But I will say that they're starting to question if you're there more than a year and you keep going back to extend your tourist visa, they start asking questions on why are you still here on a tourist visa? And so you just have to be careful about all that. But if you leave and you come right back, that whole process starts again. That 36 months starts over again. So yeah, it's pretty easy. I need good internet and AC. So that's another thing. The internet's a lot better here in Thailand than it is in the Philippines. Now, I didn't have much of a problem in BGC, but if you get outside of BGC, you're dealing with brownouts, which are basically blackouts. You're dealing with poor internet connections, slow internet, that sort of thing. There's no way I could ever live in Leyte or Samar provinces. Those are the worst if you're talking weather, because they're on the eastern islands of the Philippines, and so they're the ones that get hit by the full force of those typhoons that come from the east. They're the first ones to get hit because once a typhoon hits, just like hurricanes in the west, once it hits landfall, it weakens. But they'll get that full force, so they get the worst end of things a lot of times. So yeah, it can get really rough there. Hey Ricky, seems like you really enjoy going to Irish establishments. Is that because you have Scot-Irish heritage? Absolutely. If you can see the flag there, that's an Irish flag. So yeah, on my mother's side, my dad's German, so I'm half and half. Sorry, I never ran into you when you were in Iloilo. Lived here since 2018, but looking forward to seeing you, JJ, in Bangkok soon. Oh, okay. I've only been to Iloilo twice, and that was back in 2022, probably, or 2023. 2022, I think. And both times I didn't go to like where the mall is in that area there. I always went to Smallville. I like Smallville. I like the outdoor setting. I like the what's the bar there? Bar/restaurant. Bourbon Street, I think it is. Is that right? You can correct me on that. But I like that restaurant there. They have good food, and then they have outdoor. They have a stage. They have outdoor music there. So I really like. I'm a huge live music fan, so I like watching the live music. And then they had that club, that dance club upstairs that I went to one time. but it was okay. It was cool. But yeah, Smallville was my go-to spot in Iloilo. Philippine cities are so run down and beat up and polluted. Go to beautiful provinces and they are burning nonstop. Yeah, that's sad. I know you love Thailand, but are there any cons you can think of? Yeah, I mean, sometimes the air pollution can get really bad, especially in the first couple of months of the year, because it's the burn season up north. They burn their crops, so that smoke can come down as far south as say Bangkok, or even as far south as Pattaya sometimes. So it can get kind of rough. Like this past January, it got really bad. It got to a point where they they made it free to ride the subway and the BTS and the MRT. It was free to ride for one whole week to encourage people from not driving ride the subway for free or the trains for free and not use their car so they can kind of help reduce the pollution. So that one week was pretty bad. But other than that, it's not so bad. I mean, yeah, there are days where you can see it's like really smoggy, but it doesn't really affect me too bad, at least me. Now, if you have some serious issues with your breathing and that, you might think twice about living in Bangkok, but or north part of Thailand like Chiang Mai, especially during January and February. Is Starlink available in Thailand? I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. I wonder if this upcoming high season will be as strong in Thailand, could be strong in Phuket and weak in Pattaya and Bangkok, for example. Each seems different market. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I mean, tourism's down for the year about 30%, I think. Most of it's because of China. The Chinese tourism is down here in Thailand. They're going to other places like Vietnam, in Cambodia, and Malaysia. Um, but if you look at the Western countries and the tourism coming here to Thailand, those numbers are up. Like US numbers are up, Australia numbers are up, UK, Europe. Those numbers are higher for the year coming to Thailand. But overall, tourism is down. Now, I don't know that if I did a video on this, I don't know that it affects us living here or if you're visiting. I think there might be some positive effects. Like prices may go down, like rentals or Airbnb prices may go down because there's a lot less demand and more supply. So you may get some good discounts on Airbnbs or hotels. I don't know. I haven't looked into prices, um, but other things might drop in price too. I don't know, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see when the high season hits next month or probably end of November. Um, what the streets are like in Bangkok as compared to like Pattaya or Phuket. When we moved here, Smallville was really a nice hot spot, but after Mega World opened, K Town, the action moved over there. Bourbon Street is in Smallville, Atria area. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Bourbon Street, Smallville area. I like that. So I was there in 2022. So was K Town open at that time? Um, because I don't know because I was looking um, when I was there. Both times I was there, I just went to Smallville because it was I liked the area. The first time I was there, I really liked it, and so let me know if it was in 2022. It would have been probably mid 2022, like May or June of 2022 when I was there. UK expats numbers will surge to Asia. Yeah, I think you're right. Especially here, not so much maybe in the Philippines, but here in Thailand, I see a lot of Brits and a lot of uh, Aussies. Um, course, I'm in that Prompong area where you have a lot of those English and Irish pubs because you got just on that one street alone, 33-1, on the corner, there's Robin Hood, which is an English pub. Then right down from that is O'Shea's, which is an Irish pub. Right across from that is Laughing Tiger, which is an English pub. So you got three right there. And then there's another one at the end of 33-1. I can't think of the name of it offhand, but yeah. So right there in that Prompong area, you've got a lot of English and Irish pubs and restaurants. So it just goes to figure you're going to see a lot of Brits and Aussies there. My house is going to auction on Thursday. Fingers crossed. That's in Are you in Dublin? Is that right? Is that where your house is? Or are you talking about which house are you going on auction? Which house you got up for auction? Or what location? I'm a Brit. We like Thailand more than the Philippines. Shorter flight for us. Yeah, I think that's probably why. Shorter flight. But you know what? I don't know for whatever reason, but there's more Americans in the Philippines than there are here, I think. I don't have any stats available, but just from living there for so long, I've met more Americans and more Canadians in the Philippines than I have here. More Brits and Aussies here. London to Bangkok direct is 11 hours. Nice. Yeah, and you go to U.S. to Philippines, and you're talking 14-hour flight, I think. That's direct. House going to auction isn't a good thing, is it? Financial distress? No, I don't know. Maybe it's different. I suppose the auction would be different in the U.S. Sligo, Ireland. Okay. Or is it Sligo? Sligo or Sligo? Long A or long I or short I? Sligo or Sligo? Yeah, fingers crossed, buddy. I hope it works out for you. I hope you get a good price. The top 10% in the USA are crushing it and support 50% of U.S. discretionary spending if read correctly, assuming top 5 to 10% in all countries will still travel, like you said, JJ, except Chinese. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty accurate. Yeah, K-Town was open when you were there, but the pandemic effect was still keeping the area from pre-pandemic numbers. Even today, the entire third floor of Festive Walk Mega World is still shut down. Oh, wow. Yeah, I've never been there. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Have you been to Bacolod? And what do you think of that compared to Iloilo if you've been there? It's right across the way, actually. Did you visit the big U.S. military cemetery in Leyte? Yeah, I did. Well, I was at the first time I went to Leyte. I had a girlfriend that lived in Mahaplog, and so I flew into Tacloban. And actually, I met her in Manila. We stayed in Manila 3 nights, I think. 2 or 3 nights. Then we flew to Tacloban, and then we took the bus. She lives in Mahaplog is in southern Leyte, and Tacloban is kind of on the north end. But that's the main airport to fly in on. But we went to MacArthur. They have that big monument of MacArthur, General MacArthur. They got this monument of him. This bronze statue of him and soldiers waiting onto the beach, like he did when he returned. I shall return. This famous quote, "I shall return," when the U.S. had to leave the Philippines because the Japanese had taken over back in World War II. Well, when he came back, that was a famous scene, him wading through the waters to shore with his troops, and he kept his promise. He returned. but there's a big statue, there's a big monument. So her and I visited that. So we did go see that. That was pretty cool. The auction is to filter time wasters. Oh, okay, gotcha. Define culture difference in meaning of a house going to auction. Yeah, exactly. I think that's a different kind of a different thing that we think of auction. We think of auctions as an estate auction, like you auction off your parents' house after they die, or you auction something that you can't afford anymore. So let's see, where are we at here? Hey, Joe. JJ, out of respect, would you be interested in storing part of your money in gold? Gold shops everywhere here. You have a safe. Um, I don't have a safe. I probably will get one when I move. I don't know. I thought about it. I've got some gold stock that I just bought, but it's more of the mining stock. It's not the actual gold. Um, but yeah, maybe. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea. So, but I would definitely think about it. I would have to get a safe first, and if I did get gold, I wouldn't tell anybody, especially on a live stream. Let's see, a $5,000 deposit has to be paid to bid on the property. The realtor said it's the best way. Oh, okay, cool. Thai ladies are stunning, but if one needs an English fix, could you fly in Filipina for 1 to 3 months occasionally, assuming she can get a visa longer than a month? Yes, you can. It's harder. Philippines passports are one of the hardest to travel. Um, for some reason, the Philippines doesn't like their people leaving the country. And so it's really hard, especially for the women, the Filipinas, to be able to leave their country. So, but once they start getting stamps in their passport, then it becomes a lot easier. But there are times where they'll get offboarded and aren't allowed to leave, because what they'll look at is like, where are you going? What's your itinerary? Let me see your ticket back, your return ticket. Um, where you're going to be staying when you go overseas, uh, what kind of funds do you have now? What would your reason be for coming back? Do you have a reason for coming back to the Philippines? So they ask all these questions, and I've known guys that try to get their Filipina to travel with them, and the first time they do it, the girl is sitting in immigration for an hour, getting basically interrogated, while my friend or the guy is waiting on the other side of immigration for her to either say yes, she can go through, or no, she can't. So it's really weird. Um, and I don't know of any other country that treats their people quite like that, like they do in the Philippines. It's just a different animal there. But once she starts getting stamps in her passport, it becomes easier. So yeah, you could definitely bring a Filipino or Filipina over here, um, because I think they get the same. I think they get 60 days visa free, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, you can bring them over for 1 or 2 months or 3 months at a time. Wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, and I've met some Filipina that actually live and work here, and they act a lot different than the ones that are in the Philippines. So might be a good thing. Yes, I've been to Bacolod once, but still liked Iloilo more. After living in the Philippines for 10 years, though, it's time for change. My wife and I are moving to Bangkok in January. Awesome. Yeah, I saw you on Geo's live the other night. Um, and I saw that you were moving. So good. Let's all get together when you get here. I'd love to meet you. But yeah, I hear you when you say time for a change. That's how I am. Um, that's me, the lonely bull, ready for a change. Get that itch. Gold is worth a fortune now. Yeah, absolutely. So is silver. Yeah. Yeah, I should have bought it a long time ago. If they have a history of international travel, it is easier. They are also trying to combat trafficking. Yeah, they say that, but I don't know. I don't know what their reasoning is behind it. I don't know if it's trafficking or they're afraid that they won't come back. So who knows? Thanks for your thoughts on the Filipinas traveling. Probably a numbers game. Try 3 different ladies and maybe one makes makes it. Yeah, maybe. Get one that has some stamps in her passport. That'd be the best way to go. Samar and Leyte Island is where I saw the most attractive Filipinas. Yeah, they're definitely the girl I dated in Leyte was beautiful, absolutely stunning. How do the Filipinas act different in Thailand? I think they all have jobs here, so that's a difference between the Filipinas here who have jobs to the ones in the Philippines who a lot of them don't because of the economy there. So they're more dependent in the Philippines. They're more dependent on a Westerner to take care of them, and that's kind of what a lot of them look for when they're looking to date. Whereas here, they're more like Thai girls where they've got their own money, they've got their own jobs, so they date for mostly for a relationship rather than to be taken care of. Not to say that Filipinas in the Philippines don't look for relationships that way. They do, but I think there are more of them that in the Philippines than here that look for it as a more of a transactional, take care of me financially type of thing. My opinion, though. Howdy, JJ. Hey, Dave. Do you plan to live in Thailand indefinitely? And if not, which countries will you be interested to move to next? As far as I know, I'm planning on living here indefinitely. But never say never, right? Things could change, and you never know what might happen. Maybe I won't be able to get my retirement visa, or maybe something will happen, or who knows? Things happen all the time. Maybe with the bank situation here being up in the air, I won't want to chance putting money in a bank account here. Maybe the cost of living will go way up, and I won't want to live here anymore. So you just never know. But right now, in the foreseeable future, my plan is to stay here indefinitely. Have a good one, JJ. Thanks for the live. Hey, Austin, thanks for coming in this morning. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm sure we all can have some great conversations from our collective experience. Looking forward to it. Yeah, me too. That'd be kind of fun. Lots of the bar girls at Angeles are from Leyte and Samar. Be careful, guys. Yes, I've heard some real horror stories about families in Leyte and Samar sending their young daughters, who may or may not be of age, on a 3-day trip by boat, basically, over to Luzon to go to Pampanga and Angeles City to work, so they can send money home to their family. I've heard those horror stories. I don't know if it happens a lot now, but I know it happened a lot back when I first started coming to the Philippines, back in 2015. Okay, we're all caught up. We're at 2:28, so about almost 2.5 hours. Still got 29 on. I'll stay on a couple more minutes. If we don't get any more chat, then I'll call it a night, or call it a day. I'm getting kind of hungry. I don't know where I'll eat today. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to have for dinner or for lunch today. A friend of mine wanted to go to Chattahoochee Market this weekend. I don't know if he went yesterday or not. I told him to get a hold of me if he did, because I wouldn't mind going back down there. Is true that the tourism is down quite a lot so far this year in Thailand? Yeah, 30%. So Friday night, I was on Sukhumvit 11, which is a big restaurant/bar area, and it wasn't very busy. Um, I mean, I remember, probably this time last year, you could hardly walk around. It was so busy. So I have noticed in areas that it's not as busy as it has been. I will tell you, we talked a bit ago about, oh, you may get discounts on your hotels or your Airbnbs because the supply is higher than the demand. That could also be said about freelancing too and bar fines. Um, you may be able to, if you're into that pay for play girl, you may be able to get a pretty decent discount just because they're not as busy as they have been, whether it's here in Bangkok or maybe down in Pattaya. You might check those prices out. They may have gone down quite a bit. So if that's your thing, boys, you might check into that. You may get some pretty decent deals on the pay for play with the freelancers and the bar girls. There you go. There's your hack for the day. Regarding gold, I think the mining ETFs have normal taxation rules, but the gold-backed ETFs like GLD have special taxation rules. May not be an issue in a non-taxable account, but is in taxable account. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I didn't put that much in to make a difference one way or another. So, but I just kind of, it's almost like my play money. Like if you were to go to Vegas, it's like, oh, I'm going to go to Vegas this weekend. I got $500 to spend, and it's basically that's my entertainment. So once it's gone, whether I win money or not. That's kind of how I view the stock market. It's like I don't really need this money, so I'll just put a little bit in the market and see how it goes. And it's more fun than a way to earn extra money. So they say Pattaya tourism numbers are way down. Yeah, that's what I heard. So that's what I mean. I'm thinking, freelancers and bar girls are just sitting around waiting for a customer, and it could be you. You could be getting the deal of the century. Do you hold any crypto? No, not at this time. I thought about getting into some, but I think I'll wait. I think there's a correction coming, and I'm not an advisor, and don't take my advice on anything as far as the market or anything like that or investments. Um, but it just feels to me like there's got to be a correction happening. It just seems like these these the market is like propped up, and it's artificial. I just think there's too much. I mean, the inflation is still there. There's still a lot of inflation in the U.S., um, all, all over the world, actually. Um, yeah, just to me, it's like I think the economy is not where it needs to be in the U.S., especially. I think the job numbers are inflated. I don't think it's as good as what everybody's saying it is. I don't know. We'll see, but maybe there'll be a big correction. It happens about every 10, 15 years. So, have you been to Bourbon Street, Bangkok in Ekamai? The owner, Doug Harrison, is from New Orleans, my hometown, and the food is excellent. Drinks are New Orleans certified too. We have been there many times. Bourbon Street in Ekamai. I don't think I've been there. Whereabouts? Is it right there on Sukhumvit or is it on one of the Sois? Bourbon Street, Ekamai. I'm going to look it up here, guys. Hang on a second. Stand by. Okay, it's on 63. It's on Sukhumvit 63, which is right off of the Ekamai BTS. So it's about 1, 2, 3, probably about 4 blocks down. So not too far a walk. So let's see what it looks like. Bourbon Street Restaurant and Oyster Bar, and they've got a boutique hotel in there too. So that's cool. Oh yeah, food looks great. Ooh, gumbo. Oh, I love gumbo. Man. Mm. Yeah, so there was a place in BGC when I lived in BGC in Manila called Clawdaddy's, and they had Clawdaddy's, and right next door was New Orleans Jazz Kitchen, and they had really good New Orleans style uh, gumbo and jambalaya and all the good New Orleans style seafood, Cajun stuff. So good. And they ended up closing down. I was so sad. That was one of my favorite restaurants to go to, bars just to hang out. But I'm definitely going to. I may go there today for lunch. You gave me a great idea. Um, actually, I'm sold. I'm going there for lunch. um, so yeah, that's awesome. I may contact Gio if he's available, see if he wants to go. I don't know if he likes Cajun food or not. Just got called to work on duty at 12:15. Can't wait to be retired. Um, so are you on call all the time? What's your career? What's your job? Pun intended. And yeah, what do you do for work? And when can you retire? That's the bigger question. $6 billion was liquidated on Friday in the crypto markets. Yeah, crypto went way down, but so did most of the market. My stocks, I have 3 stocks, and mine all went down. I was down about 2%. So it wasn't as much as crypto, but I think there was just a small correction. So we'll see what happens um, Monday morning or Monday night here when the markets open, see what goes on. Correction happened on Friday and continuing. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens this weekend or after this weekend. My stocks are down collectively, down 3% today, but they're up overnight, but not by much, just about a tenth of a point. So the stocks I have are NVIDIA, and I've got D-Wave Quantum, which is QBTS. And then I just bought CDE, which is Coeur Mining. So I just bought that. I bought that at 1933, and it's at 1940 now. So it's just up a little bit. But I bought D-Wave Quantum when it was 1954, and it's at 33.40 now. So I'm way up on that. And I bought NVIDIA when it was at 169.50, and it's at 183.20. So even with the correction, I'm on both of those stocks, I'm still way up. So yeah, well, I'll buy and hold. I'm not one of those day traders that stay up at 3 a.m. to trade stock. I just usually buy and hold. Let's see what else is going on. I heard that Pattaya is being overrun by Indians and the locals are fed up with them. Yeah, I kind of heard a little bit about that too. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I haven't been there for so long. I want to go back. I got a buddy. He's Chinese. He lives in BTS. He's never been to Thailand. He's never been to BTS or he's never been to Pattaya. So him and another friend of mine were going to come up here earlier this year, and then I was going to take him down to Pattaya. My other friend, he's been to Pattaya many times. In fact, he would be able to be a better tour guide than me. But that something came up health wise, so one of them couldn't go, so we postponed. But I hope they get up here soon. I'd like to get back to Pattaya. It's kind of fun just to check out once in a while. AI revenue, earnings, and capital expenditure isn't stopping. Yeah, exactly. It's right off the BTS. Yeah, not even 4 blocks, I don't think. It's just walking distance. Black Sky Tech is going to be the next big thing. Really? Okay. Now we're getting stock option or stock Black Sky. I'm gonna look into it. Now, Kiki and Jasmine, you're not you're not financial gurus. You're not giving financial advice on my channel. We've even stayed in the hotel. Oh yeah, okay. Having the elevator open into the restaurant probably added 10 pounds to my trip. Ask for Doug and tell him Stephen and B from the Philippines sent you. Gumbo is fantastic. I will. I'll do that. Stephen and B and Doug. Okay, Doug. Write this down. Is it B or is it B? I assume it's B, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll go there today. What brokerage do you use? No problem trading from Thailand. Oh, I got a VPN, so I don't have any problems. No, I just use my Robinhood. That's all I use. I don't trade big enough to bother with anything else. I'm happy as long as my Deere and Caterpillar dividends keep rolling in. There you go. Get those dividends. On call 24/7. I move trains. Oh, I'll retire early off of investing. Nice. Good for you. Trains. I love trains. My dad worked at a flour mill for like 33 years. And every day during the summer when I wasn't in school, I'd bring him lunch. And so we lived right close to the track. So we were poor growing up. So we lived on the south side in the boonies, down in the boondocks. I was only a couple blocks from the trains, but I'd have to cross the tracks to get to the flour mill where he worked. So a lot of times there'd be a train just sitting there, and I would climb over the where the couplers were. I'd climb over that, not thinking anything. I mean, back when I was a kid in the '60s and early '70s, before I was a teenager, I didn't think anything about. I mean, there was no regulations and anything like that. There wasn't even OSHA back then. So I would go into the flour mill, and I go into the break area, and all my dad's coworkers, they knew me, and they go, "Oh, your dad's up in the elevator." So I'd go, I'd go into the elevator and climb up like 5 flights on a ladder to find my dad, who's loading flour into the car, into the cars of the train. And I just climb up there with all the machinery going on, and it's like it was nothing. Nowadays, you couldn't even walk in that building without a hard hat or a. I mean, if as a kid they wouldn't let you in, that'd be so many different violations. But back in the day, it was nothing to do anything like that. So. From immigration, take the pink line and switch to the light green line at Waprasi Mahatat. Yeah, that's where I get off to go to immigration. Yeah. Then off at Siam and Chitlom, easy skywalk to Central World from either station. Hope you can make it. Nakab. Yeah, absolutely. Because I know where I've been to Central World many times. I actually met a girl there in Central World. But yeah, I would take the Siam exit. It's a little closer. I think from Central World to the Siam BTS is like 0.3 kilometers, and the Chitlom is like 0.5 kilometers. So it's a little closer. It's not quite as big a walk to go to the Siam. But yeah, I'll definitely check that out after I get done with immigration. I'll try to check that out. I'm a big coffee snob, I guess. Covered so much today. Yeah, absolutely. We went all over. If Vietnam introduced retirement visa, would you move there? I know I would. Possibly. I don't know if it's a better deal than Thailand. I like Da Nang. That's one of my favorite cities. But even being in Da Nang, every time I go there, I miss Bangkok. So it would be hard. It would be hard to leave Bangkok. I don't know. That's another one of those never say never. But if it was one of those, but the thing with Vietnam, you could go there 90 days. You can do a border run and come right back. Uh, if you don't mind traveling every 90 days. I got a buddy down there, Will. He's got a YouTube channel. He does the bus ride every 90 days to Cambodia or Laos, I think Cambodia, to do his visa run. It's 12 hours round trip. That would wipe me out. I couldn't do it, being 6 hours on a bus one way and then 6 hours back. I couldn't do it. He does it. I couldn't. But if it was one of those retirement visas that were like incredibly cheap and really easy, I might think about it. I'd like to visit Koh Samui someday. Ever been there? No, I haven't, but I do want to go there. That's one of the ones on my bucket list. I'll probably go in January during the smoky season. I might go there. The problem with, is it Koh Samui or is it Phuket? It might be Phuket. Flying into Phuket is expensive because the airport is owned by one of the airlines. So it's the only airline that flies in. So you can't find discount flights. I think it's Phuket, but I could be wrong. But I want to go during the smoky season. I want to go either January, February for a few days. Doug's Restaurant has been there for 40 years, truly a staple. We share a close mutual friend in New Orleans, so we have bonded in our trips to Bangkok. Has he been in the same location for 40 years? Because there must not have been anything there in the Ekamai area 40 years ago, because that's just now starting to really pick up as far as development. That would be interesting if he had that much foresight 40 years ago to open up his restaurant there. What's the tuition cost of going to Thai language school for a year? So here's my cost. So I looked into 5 different schools, and I'll tell you which schools they were. I looked into, if I can find it here, got it all written out. Maybe. Here we go. All right. So I looked into AAA language, and that cost for 11 plus months. They did all the paperwork and the textbooks. It cost 30,000 baht, which is about 900 US dollars. I looked at the Knowledge Language School. 14 months there was $47,500. And this doesn't include the cost of the visa. The visas are separate. So $47,500 or baht. So that's about $1,400, maybe $1,300. And then I looked into ALA language school and pro language school also, but I didn't get prices on them, or I didn't write them down. They were a little more expensive. And then Sandy language school, or Sandy Thai School of Language, is where I'm going. For 14 months, it's 33,000 baht, which is about $980, right around there. Yeah, $990. That's for all 3 levels, but I didn't do that because I wasn't sure that I was going to be successful. So I wanted to just do 1 level at a time, but they won't allow it. They won't do the 1 level at a time. So I could do 2 levels. So I did levels 1 and 2. And so levels 1 and 2 together cost 25,200 baht. So about $760, something like that, $770. And then when I went to immigration, and that includes my textbook, and they did all the paperwork for me. All I had to do was sign it and give them my passport, show them my passport. They made copies of my passport. Had to get passport photos done, and that was like 100 baht to get like 10 photos. But they did all the paperwork, and then I met them at immigration, and they had all the paperwork ready for me. And so what I did in immigration, I paid $2,000 or 2,000 baht, which is about $60, and I got the application form, which is a little blue form they give you, and they stamp that. That means you applied for your education visa, but the date on the stamp that you applied, that's the date your actual education visa begins. So if I were just still here on a tourist visa, my visa would expire on October 20th. So I would have to go in and do an 30-day extension, but I didn't have to do that because now I got that blue application form. And then I go back on Tuesday and get my actual stamp in my passport. And then from that point on, every 3 months, I got to go back and do an extension for my visa. And that's 1,900 baht, which is about $55. So I'll do that every 3 months, and I'll do that. And then after 8 months of doing levels 1 and 2, then I can do level 3, which is another 6 months. And then she said, if you're uncomfortable moving to level 3, you can retake level 2. So I'll do one of the two. I'll either retake level 2 or take level 3. So the whole thing in all, levels 1, 2, and 3 is 14 months. So there you go. So the cost, the initial cost, about $770, plus another $60 for the initial visa. So $820, something like that, for 8 months. And mention I'm a friend of Vincent, so he can make the connection easier. Okay, I'll do that. Let me write that down too. This will be fun. I can't wait. Get me some gumbo. Friend of Vincent. Okay, perfect. Koh Samui is the expensive airport to fly. Okay, that's what I was looking at. I was looking at flying. It was so expensive. So then I thought about doing the ferry, flying or taking the train or a bus down to the southern part, and then taking a ferry over, something like that. I had a couple of options. Bangkok Airways flies there. Okay. Phuket is pretty cheap because Air Asia and other discount airlines fly into there. Okay, good. Good to know. You could go to Krabi, then ferry across to Phuket. Okay. I think you can actually drive to Phuket from here if you wanted to, because it's just a small, like a short bridge that connects the Phuket to the mainland, I think. I've never asked him how long has that location been active. I'd imagine that is not the original location. Man, that's why I was thinking it's probably not the original. So can you keep extending your student visa? Yeah, you extend. You have to extend it every 3 months as long as you're in school. But they check your attendance, and if you're not attending regularly, they can cancel your education visa or not renew it. So you got to keep going. You got to keep going to school. Samui Airport is private, built by Bangkok Airways itself. Yeah, so it's the Koh Samui Airport that's expensive to fly into, which sucks. Something should be done about that. So, okay, guys, we're all caught up. Look at that. We're coming up on 3 hours. Wow, how time flies. I'll go up to the top of the hour, then we'll call it a day, and then I'm going to go eat at the restaurant. Okay, thanks, Joe. Didn't know that. Okay, yeah. You may not be able to pass on the shrimp po' boy sandwich either, but if you're getting gumbo, get the half for sure. Looking forward to hearing about your experience. Oh, so you get a lot, huh? Well, I may get the full and then just take half of it home for later or for tomorrow. Um, because I don't think I've got anything going on tomorrow. I may do a video. I got to edit. I got a video I'm editing that I need to post tomorrow for the memberships. If you're not a member, go ahead and join. I'd appreciate that. Any little bit helps. Make sure you hit those like buttons. So that helps the algorithm. Everything helps the channel, and everything I make, I put right back into the channel to help out. So, but let me see what else is going on. What do I got going on tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow I'm going. No, tomorrow I'm not going. Tuesday I'm going to immigration. Tomorrow I got nothing going on. So maybe tomorrow I'll go to that coffee thing. I'll take my video gear with me. Do you have to get good grades? I don't know. I mean, we took a test a week ago last Friday, and I aced it, but I don't think they I don't think you have to test out of any level. I'm not sure yet. I guess we'll find out. It's been a long time since I was in Phuket. It was very affordable then. I have a friend from my hometown. His brother owns a bar in Phuket. So when I go there, I need to find out from him which bar and what area his brother's in so I can go visit. But yeah, I've never been there. I've never been to Phuket. I've heard it's crazy busy with tourists. I heard the tourists outnumber the locals like 11-1 or something like that. I read that weird thing. Look at Kiki. At it again. Thank you, buddy. Kiki just gifted 5 memberships. So check to see if you got yourself a membership, guys. And thanks, Kiki and Jasmine. Appreciate it. I think you do that every week. It's been great. Maybe you should team up with Gio for Muay Thai class in the future. You know what? So the school I'm going to, they've got Muay Thai, and it's right across the hall. So I went in the other day and I videotaped it. So I'm going to do a short video on the Muay Thai class there. I would do it, but I think Gio would probably kick my ass. He's a bigger dude than me. He's not taller than me. I outreach him. I'm about 6 inches taller than him, and probably my reach is probably a good 6 inches. But he's more muscular than I am, and he's a lot younger than me too. So if we ever got in a clinch, he'd probably kick my ass. I would have to keep him at bay. But it could be fun. I wouldn't mind trying Muay Thai. That'd be kind of fun to try. Let's see. Okay. All right. All caught up. There's 2 Muay Thai boxing arenas here in Bangkok. So I've been to one of them. It's kind of a neat experience. You don't have to know who the boxers are. You don't have to, go and watch the main event or anything like that. I just go there for the experience, because if you go in there and not knowing if these boxers are any good or not, you don't know. I don't know the sport well enough to know if they're doing a good job or not. But the last time I went, I saw 3 knockouts, and they were pretty amazing. Like, one guy got a knee right in the temple. It's like, wow. So it was pretty cool. But yeah. Okay, guys, we're right up almost to 3 hours. So I'm going to call it a day, and I appreciate all of you guys. It's been great. Thanks a lot. Make sure you hit that like button before you go, and we'll see you again next Sunday, same time, 9:00. Look for a new video coming for members only, and then tomorrow we'll get one of the members only videos that'll post for everybody else tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Thai time. So look for that too. And as always, live life, my friend. And let's see, one more. Is there betting at the boxing? I don't know if there is or not. I don't know. It might be illegal to bet in Thailand, but I'll have to check in on that. So I'm sure there's like side bets goes on, but maybe under the table stuff. But all right, guys, take care. Live life, my friend. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.